Take the first punch. Let's go. Put up or shut up, Charlie Kirk.
You know
Put
what?
Up or shut
so,
up.
First of all, it says very clearly in the Bible that we shouldn't harm those that are worthy of protection, and you obviously are.
You're just worried I'll kick your ass.
Well on Medicare age. But let's play this out. Despite the obvious fact, and you and I both know who would win this duel. However. Hold on a second. This is a great embodiment of the American left. You can't debate, so you want to go to blows. You can't. The only thing that is preventing us from this country from going to civil war is debate and dialogue, and you don't even want to have debate. You want to go and you want to wrestle like a 7-year-old. Who here is actually dividing the country?
No. A gentleman's fist fight. You know what that is, right?
Again, I would like to think that we are elevated above trying to go have a fight in the streets or a fight in front of 2,000 people. In fact, a mark of civilization is that we don't have to go to blows or bullets, that we can have discourse and debate, but yet you're inviting that.
And you know that out here in the West, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, really? You don't debate out in the West?
Real men stand up for what they believe.
You guys don't dialogue in the West?
Come on, man. Look, I know.
How about this? Why don't you, since you're a 70-year-old aged elder and you want to have a fist fight with a 31-year-old?
Is that how old you are?
Why don't you tell me what a woman is?
See, I am not here to debate you. I'm here to prove you wrong. Prove you wrong. Prove him wrong. So either put up or shut up. I'll walk away. You tell me right now.
I will say this. I will say this. I'm not going to fight you because I don't have to. Because you know why?
You don't have to.
You are acting as if someone who is very desperate, who is clout chasing. We are going to remain peaceful while the left promotes violence. We are going to be the peace. Because, as Christ our Lord said, blessed are the peacemakers, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Thank you, sir, and get out of here.
I really didn't want to do this episode today. This is much different than when it first happened. I've processed many an emotion over the last few days. I have struggled with my feelings. Like I haven't really known what to say, what to think. About watching a 31-year-old man cut down in the prime of his life. The father of 2 young children, babies, even. Still hits me, right? These kids their father is gone. In fact, one of the details about what took place when the shot rang out, it's been reported that when the shot rang out, that tore Charlie's throat out. One of his young children ran towards their father because the shot had scared them. We saw this man's blood pour out profusely. We talked about this earlier this week. And like I said, we've processing the fact that it truly is a new day in America. It is a day in America where we recognize that there is a contingent of people. The left actively wants us, that is anyone who is not a leftist, they actively want us gone. They cannot debate. They don't want to debate. In fact, they feel as if they have said this, that to even have a debate is white supremacist, is racist in some cases. It is wrong and immoral to demand that to demand a debate of oppressed people. It has always been just shut up and give us what we want. That's being on the right side of history. And this is who we are dealing with. That is what we recognize this day, September 14th, 2025. We now have come to the realization that after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we recognize that there is only one side of the political aisle that actively wishes harm, actively wishes physical harm and violence and death. And that is the left. It hurts when I watch these videos of Charlie Kirk, and it looks like we're going to have a big show today. I want to welcome you all to Apostate Radio, episode 28. It's a bit of a somber tone tonight. But joining me in the studio, as always, I am Isaiah Carter, coming to you for now from the Boogie Down Bronx. And of course, joining me, the sage of the tri-state, Mr. Nostra Chavez. What's going on, man?
Isaiah, good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
I almost fucking cried when you said that about the about his. You said it was his son that tried to run up to him when he.
It was either his. It was one of them. I don't know.
One of his children tried to run up to him. Yeah,
one of his
when they heard the gunshot. That's so sad. That's that is so tragic.
His wife was Erica, was there too. His wife was there. His kids were there. There were multiple people there at this event with him.
Yep.
And it breaks my heart. Like when I think of this, like I said, I've been processing this. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't want to do this episode. I didn't want to be here because I've been angry and trying to I haven't even really been able to eat today.
Yeah. It's very disorienting, man, and it's enraging and disgusting how some people are reacting in a celebratory way, or even a indifferent way about it, because they don't necessarily agree with them, and they think, well, he supported guns' rights or some stupid shit like that. And it's like, did you hear what he just said? That he just got shot in the neck by, right in front of his little children and his wife, for what? Because he was giving leftists the platform to talk and state their case. Like, it's demonic, dude. It's 100% demonic, evil, satanic impulse that went through this person killing him, and everybody who's celebrating him doing this to Charlie Kirk, and everybody who even thinks it's funny or indifferent. It's truly, you have been partly possessed by the devil. For sure. I mean, there's the only way I can think about it. It's evil and it's disgusting. It's low vibrations, low energy, and it's you need to look in the fucking mirror and figure out, like, What's going on in your mind, in your life, in your brain, in your soul that's making you think this is something that's okay? Because it's disgusting.
Yeah. I think the most disheartening thing is something that we'll talk about in a second, but our guest has arrived tonight. Before I get to Mr. Olson, let me just take care of some initial business here. If you, of course, want to follow either one of us on X, that is our handle. Those are our handles. Isaiah L. Carter and at Nostra Chavez. Our show page is, of course, Apostate Radio NY. You already know what we do there. And then, of course, far be it from us to make the events of this of the last several days about us, but this is serious business. Our show does run it does run on the support of you, our viewers and our listeners. So you can go to buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio. And you can give as you feel so inclined. Subscriptions are also available at $5 a month. And then also on top of that, we've got Apostate Radio merch. I'll be sharing the link in the chat. We've already got a lot of people in the chat who are my friend the Pike dude, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. The silencer said, I'm 45. He's older than the both of us. And I feel the pain as I lost my own. Yeah, I don't even have any kids. I feel like I lost a little brother. Carolyn says, still crying. I've shed a couple tears for Charlie. Never met the man in my life. But I think what I've probably shed more tears about is the fact that there are so many people, and I'm gonna bring Mike up in a second, because I want to talk to him about this after he introduces himself. It's one thing to watch somebody get their neck torn out, right? But it's another thing entirely to know that, to wake up and realize that so many people in your friend groups, your coworkers, your teachers, professors, just celebrated, cheering this man as he bled out. I read some other reports today. Charlie Kirk died in 40 minutes. He's dead in less than an hour. He's probably dead before he hit the ground when that bullet hit him. But Charlie Kirk was hit at like 12:20 p.m. and they pronounced him deceased at 1:03. I've got to make sure I get my times right. Chat, you can correct me if I got those details wrong. The fact that to wake up one morning and realize that people you love, people you once respected, family members, people you consider family, were actively cheering and rationalizing the death of this man. Joining us tonight is a young man who I saw on one of our friends, Carrie Smith's show. We were initially supposed to talk about one thing, and He's here, and now I guess we're going to talk about some of that and just see where we go. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to Apostate Radio, Mr. Mikale Olson. Good evening,
that's me,
brother.
or Mikale. It's so everybody says Michael. That's okay. I'll respond. I'll respond to you. But
So I was botching
yeah, it's
your
good
name.
to be here.
So Mikale.
Yes,
Olson.
or Mick for short. Yeah,
Mick. Okay.
So.
I wanted to make sure that I got your name right, brother. I do apologize. Welcome.
No, you're good.
Welcome to the show. I see that you are a Dodgers fan. Are you a Dodgers fan?
I am actually not a Dodgers fan. This is just a hat I got for free, and I wear it sometimes. Sorry for everybody who is a Dodgers fan. I'm not one of you, unfortunately.
Okay.
No, I'm in Wisconsin, so I gotta root for the Brewers. So
the Brewers. Okay. Are you a Packers fan?
No, I'm a Bears fan, actually. So
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So my family's like a lot of my family's from Chicago. So I'm a little bit partial to Chicago, but
aren't you? Good question for you. Was it
but I'm in enemy territory for sure. Like,
oh my
Packers
God.
fans everywhere. So
oh my God.
Yeah.
a Bears fan in Wisconsin. Jeez.
We had at my church, we had like this cookout thing last Sunday for the Packers game. And I think I was the only person. Everybody had a Bears jersey on I had a Packers jersey on except me. I think I was the only person that wasn't. I felt like that guy, that picture of that famous picture of, all the Nazis saluting, and then there's the one guy in the crowd that's not.
One guy.
That's how I felt.
Oh, that's funny, dude. Well, thank you for coming. I am a born and bred. If I just move the mic out the way, I am full blown. Yes.
There you go.
Yes, and we won in big fashion today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was huh?
Yeah. I was gonna say I would root for the Ravens any day over the Packers. So I cannot ever root for the Packers.
And here I was about to say, like, you guys made out like really big with the Micah Parsons thing, but you guys got Caleb Williams as your quarterback.
Yeah, not great. Not great.
Yeah.
Last week was depressing.
So since this is the first time that you've come to our show, I'd like for you to we're going to give you the chance to introduce yourself to our audience. Let us know who you are, what you got going on, and all that good stuff. The floor is yours, sir.
Sounds good. So my name is Mikale Olson. I have been doing a little bit of writing, been writing for the last year or so, pretty heavily. Writing for the Christian Post. I've written a little bit for the Federalist, and then primarily for Not the Bee, which is Babylon Bee's kind of affiliate site that is all their real news, I guess. And so I've had those three things going. You can find me on Twitter at Real Mick Olson. I have a podcast that I'm starting with my brother coming up soon here. We just kind of finished building a little studio. So that'll be coming soon as well. So all that will be, on my Twitter. I've got a YouTube channel under the same handle. All my social media is Real Mick Olson. So if you go on any social media sites, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you'll find it there. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We appreciate you coming on, man. So where do we even begin? Like we were initially going to talk about the woke right.
Yeah.
And how prevalent it is, and how much of an influence they still how much influence they're still trying to make with all of this. But I don't know, man. Like it doesn't like with this whole Charlie Kirk situation. I mean, it just kind of overshadows everything. Like, what did you ever meet? Like, had you ever met Charlie? Like, was he?
No, I've never met him. I know a lot of people that know him pretty well. Obviously, people that I work with at the Babylon Bee. James Lindsay. There's definitely quite a few people that I interact with pretty regularly who were close friends with him, who did know him well. I've been to Turning Point events before. I've seen him before. I've interacted with him on Twitter before, and I've always enjoyed I've been a long time viewer of his content, and so it's weird. I hear a lot of people saying, well, you didn't know him, so you didn't know him personally, so why do you care? You see a lot of leftists and people in the comments saying things like that. It's like, well, if you watch someone's content enough, you do know them. Like you build this personal connection with them because you hear them talk about the things they care about all the time, and it resonates with the things that you care about and things that you value. And I definitely experienced that. I mean, I remember feeling the same thing when Jordan Peterson was going through all that health crisis years ago. Feeling like
me too.
Feeling like my own like uncle or grandpa was in the hospital. And I think it's because of that, because it's someone who's changed your life, from a distance, but, really not even that much. I mean, we view these people on our screens and on Twitter, on YouTube. We go see their lectures in person. And I've done all these things, like, for example, Jordan Peterson and even Charlie Kirk. And it's like, there's this personal connection that you build with somebody, even if you've never met them. It's like, in a way, you have met them. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that's a big reason why people are responding the way they are.
Well, you might, you might, if you consumed enough of somebody's content or read enough of their books, and they talk about their personal lives, and it's like their life's work. I also consumed quite a bit of Jordan Peterson's content. I read 2 of his books, Maps of Meaning and 12 Rules for Life. Actually, 3 of his books. I also read 12 More Rules, and listened to quite a bit of his lectures, which I think is what everybody should start on, is his lectures, his early lectures. I mean, I know he's did some new ones, which are probably great with his university, Peterson Academy online, which is probably really nice to look at. But his old lectures on his podcast are really, phenomenal. Maps of Meaning and his biblical lectures. But yeah, I mean, I've listened to him so much in the past that, like, I know him better than probably a lot of friends. Sometimes your conversations with friends aren't necessarily that profound and that deep. Probably better than quite a bit of coworkers, stuff like that. So it does, even though it's a one-way relationship in a way, it's not, it can be very profound and deep and intimate intellectually, at least, and maybe emotionally in certain ways. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, I was going to say this real quick. I think that, I have friendships that I like in real life that I've built because of people like Jordan Peterson, for example. Like, we became friends because we found a connection through, reading a book, 12 Rules for Life, or watching Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel, or whoever it might be. And so there is these like real life connections to these people that I don't think should be downplayed at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. I mean, like, my brother, shout out to my brother, Laban. I have 4 brothers. It's crazy. I have a big family. My brother Laban had the chance to meet him down in Maryland a few years ago. I don't exactly know where, like, when it was, but I said this Friday that there was only one time when my brother called me and he was as devastated as he was. He was devastated, like almost in tears, calling me. And that was 20 years ago, when my father's mother, my grandmother, was taken from us, and when he called me after the announcement that Charlie had gone, he was devastated. He was utterly devastated, and he had met him, I think, maybe once or twice. He had filled in for the conservative talk radio affiliate down in Baltimore, and it was, and he got to understand the type of presence that he was. And I'm a little bit, I guess, not to make it about myself, but like, when it comes to this, like, there are people. I mean, I was lucky enough to meet James a few months ago when he was here in New York City, and I met him, like, in person. And it was it was a great time. We sat and actually sat and talked for about an hour. I was on my way home from work, and I met up with him, and it was like, and I developed a bit of a connection with him. And shout to James, the Grandmaster. That man,
James Lindsay.
James Lindsay
I
is.
don't think you
James
mentioned. I don't know if you said his last name.
Yeah. James is going through it.
Yeah, I bet
he's going through it, and my heart hurts for him, and my heart hurts for a lot of people who knew this guy, right? There is there are some developments. I mean, I guess what I want to go over, because this is bothering me. We live in a world now where people seem to think it's okay to just kill people you don't agree with. Like that, like I think that's the biggest lesson of the last 96 hours.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of it. You're obviously, I mean, if you hop, especially on Twitter, I mean, Twitter is always such a dark place, especially lately, it seems. And I'm seeing that a lot on Twitter, but it's not just on Twitter. This is the shocking part.
On Facebook.
It's on like people I literally know in my hometown.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? Like you're happy about that? How could you be happy about something like this? Or even on mainstream news, on cable news, nightly news, MSNBC, the New York Times is saying stuff like, yeah, he had it coming. I mean, it's crazy. I don't understand how you could possibly, I mean, like, I'll give you an example. Someone like Nick Fuentes, I can't stand the guy or anything that he stands for. But even if he got shot like that, there's no way you'd ever find me celebrating it. There's no way you'd ever find me saying anything like mean or hostile towards him or if he has a family. I don't know anything about him personally, really. But the point is like you can have strong disagreements over major things with somebody and still have a semblance of humanity in you where you're not celebrating the death of somebody like this, especially if they have a wife and kids. I mean, his kids are going to grow up without a dad, and they're 3 years old. That in and of itself should be, I mean,
like these are kids. I think both of Charlie's kids were under the age of 5. I think they were both under the age of 5.
I think one of them was 3 and the other one was younger, right?
Something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
But
and honestly, it's probably for the best, I guess, that it was not, they weren't older, because it'd probably be more impactful. But yeah,
I've gone on I'm gonna just tell you this, Mick. I've been on a block party. Like, when it comes to people, like, again, it's one thing to see trolls online. You expect to see this shit over, like, you expect to see hateful, nasty stuff,
and some of them are bots too,
on X, and some are bots, yes.
But there is a lot of real people real Americans out there, or Americans by birth certificate, I guess. I don't know if I'd call them that in values.
But my God, there are people. I'm going to give you a prime example of one of the ugliest things that I've seen over the last several days. Okay. And please be advised. I'm going to give a bit of a content warning. Like, this is vile shit. And I know this guy. Okay. Like I know him. And it makes me like this right here. Well, that didn't age well. Shit, neither did he. Should have learned to duck. Life comes at you faster than a speeding. You know the rest. Be safe, though, beloved.
Yeah.
I've known this guy. I've known that guy for 15 fucking years.
Ugh.
15 years.
I hate this fucking cute, ironic talk. Like, like ciao Bella and all that shit. Like, Ella, you looked at my, what was the bullet said? If you look at this, LMAO, it's like these are not serious human beings. These are cartoonish,
it's demonic,
cartoonish,
like
fucking arrogant, disgusting people, man.
I knew that guy.
You're not the same, man. We're not, the sides are not the same.
We are not the same. We are not the same.
Like, and I can't stand the Democrats, but like, if Joe Biden or Kamala got killed like in public or anywhere, like even though Joe Biden probably did some terrible shit as president, which probably most presidents did, one way or another, whether it's militarily or something, they're somewhat responsible for it. I still would be like, that's not good. You shouldn't be killing people. You shouldn't be killing political figures. Vote them out of office, whatever.
Yeah.
Unless the guy was literally Hitler or something like that, then then maybe you have to do something. But it's like Charlie Kirk is a if anything, he was doing the left a favor by letting him talk on his huge platform in front of everybody and letting them try to prove him wrong. Obviously, they couldn't fucking do that, could they? Obviously, they needed a rifle.
And he's the most
to
moderate.
Shut him up. Yeah,
and
very
he's
moderate.
the most like nice, moderate, like non-offensive of any of us on the right. And he's the one that gets shot. And then he's the one that they're praising for that. Like, he's the one that they're celebrating the death of. If anybody was not extreme or not trying to, inflame these people or whatever they accuse him of being a Nazi. They accuse him of being a racist. They accuse him of this and that. If there are legitimate people on the right, as I've put, which gets into that whole woke right conversation, that you could legitimately pin with those things. But he's not the guy. Like Charlie Kirk is not that guy. And the fact that they're trying to make him into that guy in response to his death is, I mean, there's no words for it.
It defies description. I've got another thing here that I was like doing show prep earlier today. I was just bookmarking and bookmarking and bookmarking. And I've got, again, like this is probably the worst example that I saw. Like, it's tough. Again, it's tough to watch, but it is necessary in my firm belief. It is necessary that we watch this stuff. Okay, it is necessary. Because ladies and gentlemen, it gives me no pleasure. It gives me absolutely no pleasure to show this to you. Okay?
I wish this wasn't real. I wish this wasn't the case.
It gives me absolutely no pleasure to inform you that there are people in this world. You are working next to them. You have people in your families. They are educating your children. They are amongst you. Okay? Please understand where we are coming from. These people want you gone simply for having different political beliefs than they do. They hate you again, and there are Bible verses that we can get into some of the biblical stuff, Mick. But at the end of the day, the Democrat Party and their familiars, and then by familiars, I'm talking about within their apparatus, these people have indeed, as I heard earlier today, the Democrat Party have indeed raised a standing army of berserkers. They have. And you want to know what they look like? They look like this. Have a good look, folks. Here we go.
We're going to push it. We're going to see how far we can push it. I was not kidding when I said, if you were going to get the job done, there were two better candidates. And furthermore, when that happens, and it will.
The fuck is this? The Wicked Witch of the West? What the fuck is this?
Not only will we be insensitive, that'll be the least of your worries.
Revolting.
Don't you turn away.
It's gonna be
Don't turn away, folks.
Biggest fucking celebration, the biggest, most beautiful celebration on planet Earth. On planet Earth right now. The entire planet
Do not
is
turn
going
away.
to celebrate when he takes a turn. Finally.
Yeah, she's like possessed by the devil,
Yeah,
Do
man.
you
that's
understand
possession
now,
right
folks?
there.
That's demonic possession.
No,
That's
for real.
demonic possession
Like,
all day long.
yeah.
But understand this. There are people right now, again, she one of the worst cases I've ever seen. She one of the worst cases I've seen in the last 4 days. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to be aware of this. There are people who are truly, again, Ephesians 6 is real. Ephesians 6 is real. For we do not battle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers. And you just saw that. And again, that's the worst. But when they say things like, let me see if I can find another good one here. Yeah, pray for her. Pray for that one. Pray for that one. I want to get into, let me see. I'm going to read this because I honestly, I feel like this is worse, right? I feel like this is worse. This is again, this is a guy. This is the type of rational. Matter of fact, no. I got another one. I got a better one. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second because I'm trying to find this. Mick, what are your thoughts on that, please?
It's hard to have. It's hard to even know what to say to something like that other than this. I mean, these people are. I truly believe at this point, kind of what you just said. These people are legitimately, if they're not demonically possessed, they are heavily demonically oppressed in some way. That's not like. I mean, that's like a suicidal kind of evil that goes like beyond human evil. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
it's
Go ahead.
And it's crazy just how much you're seeing that. I just keep seeing post after post after post when I go online of people, saying similar things just like that. And they all have the same demented look in their eye, and they all have the same creepy laughs.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I got another one here. This actually happened earlier today. This was at a vigil for Charlie Kirk.
Fucking vigil.
USA. From Matt Finn of Fox News. Man tramples on Charlie Kirk Memorial at TPUSA.
Jesus. Yeah, beat his ass. Like people should be treating these like funerals, like around the country. And if you come in and try to disturb that, like I saw some guy getting beaten up at a nighttime vigil, and I think that night, and like you should be treated like a like.
Oh, good, he's getting arrested. I was gonna say somebody's
like you should be treated.
He got arrested.
You should be treated like you just went to somebody's funeral and did that. Like, yeah, sometimes people do need to get their ass kicked and arrested.
Yeah,
they do.
Like there's lines of decency. Like I believe in free speech and free expression, but like somebody came to your husband's or wife's or whoever's funeral and started coming to talk shit about them and yelling and disturb it. It's like I don't believe that everybody just needs to sit there peacefully and look at them. I think that person probably needs their ass kicked and arrested. It's just clear.
I have had it being nice with these people, and that's the other part that we'll get to, because when I think the biggest issue, the biggest thing for me has been knowing that. Matter of fact, I want to get people to understand this as best as I can, and this is why I've gone on such a block party. I have actively blocked family. I leave Facebook for like closest family and friends. Okay. Since I live out of state from most of my family, it's like how I stay in touch. I have blocked nearly 10 people, probably over that by now, but I've blocked 10 people who I was once associated with for some of the nastiest things that I have seen about this. People I work with, people I've hung out with, just saying demented stuff about this guy. There's one thing, and what gets me is the fact that Charlie Kirk, and this is the part that people people need to understand this. Charlie Kirk could have been me, could have been Nos, could be Nick, could be Mick, sorry. Could be anybody else, could be any of your any other conservative streamer, non-leftist streamer, whatever. Okay?
Could be a leftist streamer too one day. Could be a leftist politician, could be Democrat, a mainstream Democrat.
Politician.
Could be anybody.
Could be, but
especially after doing something like this. And believe me, I am not encouraging that whatsoever. And I hope nobody does that.
No,
kills anybody. But boy, can it be? It could definitely happen, especially after this.
The point
after celebrating it online, you think somebody's not going to be crazy on the other side and really consider doing that? This is terrible. This is unleashing hell on earth. This kind of thing.
You're right, but that's not the point I was trying to make.
Oh, I know. I'm making a separate point, Isaiah. I'm sorry.
I got you. No, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm making a separate point. Yeah.
When you wake up and realize that there are people, good folks who you once thought, in your own personal friends group, that would celebrate you getting your neck torn out by a 30-yard 6 for saying the wrong things. Now here's what's crazy, okay? Because I want to switch over to that real quick. Let's talk a bit about some of the things that because we've heard all sorts of stuff, right? Like
Isaiah, real quick, I sent you another link, and whether you want to do it now or later, that you see that Bob Villain concert.
I didn't, but send it.
I put it in the studio chat, and it's just like a 30-second thing.
Okay.
And it's really disgusting, man. You remember he's the guy that was in.
I think I know what you're talking about.
He was the deaf to the IDF.
Yeah, deaf, and saying all that shit in England, and we want your country back. Fuck that, or some shit.
Yeah,
and an English festival. I think he's like an English, like Rage Against the Machine rapper kind of guy. Like
he is.
Rip off.
You know what?
He's sitting there like he's celebrating and dancing on stage, and everybody's cheering. It's like it looks like it's a scene from hell, honestly.
Yeah.
So you know
what?
It does. I have it here. I'm gonna go ahead and
depraved people, man.
Depraved. It's depraved as fuck. Here we go.
Here it is.
Here we go.
They think it's funny. Like they probably think it's hilarious for showing this. They love it.
Yeah.
Demonic.
Man. I want to dedicate this next one to an absolute piece of shit of a human being. The pronouns were.
Jesus Christ. God help us.
Because if you chat shit, you will get banned.
Is he talking about Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit.
Rest in piss, Charlie Kirk. That's what he said. He's dancing around. Called him a piece of shit. This is the kind of people you're dealing with, man. These are, this doesn't represent all Democrats and people on the left, obviously, but it's really scary that there's so many of them like this. That it's like they feel happy, they feel proud to like just announce that at a concert. It's like you don't have any shame, any sense of decency whatsoever. Like you were like entertaining demons, a demon entertaining demons. That's really what that was. It's what I just looked at.
I can't believe that the sickest part about videos like that, I mean, especially in a crowd, is the amount of people jumping up and down cheering that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand the amount of people that are like that. That's what's shocking to me, is like kind of what we were saying at the beginning. There's trolls here and there. You can expect this from a certain small segment of the population, but it seems like it's a growing segment of not only the American population, but just the West at large, where we're becoming more and more barbaric and like bloodthirsty, and we're justifying the murder of like a totally innocent father of two and husband. It's insane. I don't care what your political beliefs are.
We should
That's
talk about
never-
too. Why is this happening? Why are people so less decent than they used to be? Because like this probably wouldn't have happened really 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. There's probably nobody would be that fucked up besides maybe, I don't know, like some very super fringe communist group or satanic group or something like that might do something like this, but not just like a somewhat mainstream new age Rage Against the Machine guy who's pretty popular now, where a whole crowd is just like ready to go. And then you're seeing it all over TikTok, Instagram. You're seeing your friends do it. You're seeing your family do it. Just be either celebrating it or be like, well, you should have talked about abortion or something like that, or just being indifferent, like, well, I don't know, whatever.
Rationalization just pisses me off.
Those are not normal human responses.
No, not at all.
The rationalization.
They're not.
Like, why would you you're rationalizing you are rationalizing the shedding of innocent blood. I need people like ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand that if you are out here celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, if you are celebrating that a young man in the prime of his life was not even old enough to run for president yet. 31 years old, you got to be 35 to be president. And the amount of right and the amount of conservative influencers who are talking about how Charlie Kirk was built to be president one day should tell you something. Personally, I think they're going to run JD Vance. I think the Republicans were going to run JD Vance in 2028. I do believe he'll be the leading candidate. He'll be who I vote for if he runs. But honestly, 2032 would have been Charlie. I'm of that belief. 2032 would have been Charlie Kirk for president.
It could have been any time in the next. He was 31 years old. It could have been 10, 20, 30, 40, whenever he decided to do it.
Whenever he decided to do it.
He had his whole life ahead of him. And it's just despicable. It's so I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm just super disappointed right now and disgusted by I think even more by the response now. Like, I was disgusted with Charlie Kirk getting killed, but it's like, we know that people get assassinated, and we know that people could be this fringe people who are just fucking totally lost and demonic and whatever is going on. But you don't expect such a mass groundswell of like celebration or indifference.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about JFK getting shot, or MLK, or different people in the past that have been assassinated, and I don't think there was like this kind of response.
No,
unless maybe there was, and it just wasn't televised. But
maybe like in the fringe white supremacist South, maybe the KKK.
At least people were too ashamed to publicize it. If
they wouldn't publicize it, the media definitely didn't. I don't think anybody in the media was celebrating it.
Right.
It's something's different, man. I mean, and it also reflects the mass shooter situation. Like, people always talk about how, the left always talks about how, it's a guns right or guns issue. If we got to take away guns or take away AR-15s or whatever. And it's like, we always had guns here, and you could have killed people with handguns. You can come in figure out a way to sneak a rifle into school or something like that. We've had guns since 250 years. But we just started having mass shooters in 97, 98, and then not really that many until more of the late a little bit before 2010 or something. Maybe it started picking up, and then it picked up quite a lot more in the last 10, 15 years. Clearly, some of it is social media, of course. I think that's a big part of it. But and just really radicalizing people. And driving them crazy, and now people don't see reality for what it is. So all these people celebrating Charlie Kirk, I think, they think he really was like a Nazi or something, a fascist, and he's hated gay people. They see all these things out of context. He just was totally against abortion, no matter what. Which that might actually be the case, but it's like, but he's a Christian. But he's a Christian. And like other shit that he said that about the DEI stuff, saying that he's racist because he was worried that maybe some people in really important jobs, like pilots, commercial pilots, like maybe they're not quite as qualified as they could be because of DEI laws, right? And that's fucking fair, man. That's fair. Because if you know how the DEI laws work, but the people don't. They don't know what works. They just think it just means, hey, make sure black people get a job, or Latino people, or trans people. It's like nobody's arguing with anybody getting a job. It's like you don't choose them for that reason. What don't you understand about that?
Yeah, it's like if you tell, I mean, you can, a lot of this I think is not only social media, but just kind of what we mentioned before as well, the mainstream media in the reaction
Yes.
that they've had, where
Mhm.
they have been peddling that,
Fascist,
every Trump supporter is a Nazi fascist next door to you, and you better
racist,
be on guard, and they're out for blood
transphobic.
against you.
Yeah.
And if you have a conservative opinion of any kind, you're you're not only a threat to the Constitution and to democracy, but you're a physical threat to people. Like, this is the narrative that's just been being peddled by mainstream Democrats like AOC and Nancy Pelosi, who hold public office, Barack Obama. Even these people have been saying this kind of stuff about conservatives for years, and eventually someone's going to pick up a gun and do something. Like
Somebody,
they did.
That's absolutely right. And unfortunately, this is what they've specialized in. They have specialized in this rhetoric for the better part of 10. And I've got montage.
They're trying to radicalize people. That's what it is.
They already have.
They already have.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
They already have. I'm sorry. They have the radicalization is complete. We are dealing with the Democrat Party apparatus after about a 10 to 15 year project. Well, really, it's gone on a lot longer than that. If we want to really get into the weeds of the whole entire communist project.
Yeah.
But from 2015 up until now, and really even, you know what, I'd say even 2011, whenever the Trayvon Martin shooting was, from Trayvon up till now, the Democrat Party have fed their voters a steady diet of Republicans are evil, Republicans are fascist, Republicans are evil, Republicans are fascist, Republicans want to they want to do every single thing. And all they've been doing over the last 10 to 15 years is accusing people of what they themselves were doing. It has been classic reversal. It has been classic projection. All they have done is every accusation is a confession from these people. Let me give you an example of this. J.D. Haltigan, shout to him. He's a friend of mine. He came up. He posted this earlier today. He said a little history into how quote unquote transgender identity came to be removed as a mental disorder. Quote, activists argued, as in the case of homosexuality in the 1970s. I'm reading the full quote from this paper here. Activists argued, as in the case of homosexuality in the 1970s, that it is wrong to label expressions of gender variance as symptoms of a mental disorder, and that perpetuating DSM-4-TR's GID diagnoses in the DSM-5 would further stigmatize and cause harm to transgender individuals. Other advocates in the trans community expressed concern that deleting gender identity disorders would lead to denying medical and surgical care for transgender adults. I mean, there it is right there. And I find it...
And that was in 2009, I think.
That was in 2009, exactly.
So people have an idea of when that happened. That makes sense, too.
16 years years ago, folks. That's how long leftists in this country have been working towards blurring distinctions. I want to play this real quick while I'm thinking of it.
Can I make a comment really quick?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say, I'm not that old. I'm 29. But I even remember in my lifetime, back before this whole for example, this transgender craze, back before this was mainstreamed and normalized, back when you'd say someone's a transgender and people would like be like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I know how, like, in other words, I'm not even that old, and I've seen how fast things can radicalize in just a short amount of years.
Right.
It's like that. And it's crazy how fast that happens. Obviously, this has been a long time coming. You can trace this way, way back. I think it ultimately comes from, rooting out people's identity in a creator. And so once you do that, then anything's fair game. We're God, however we feel is God. And so I think this is what's been a huge push as to what's allowed a lot of this radicalization to take root in the first place.
Yeah.
People have not been rooted in God. And so, and obviously that goes way back, but still, I mean, just from, even thinking someone can be a man that's a woman to all of the sudden, you're crazy if you don't think that. That's where we're at now, politically speaking. That's happened in just a short amount of years. I mean, I can literally remember when that wasn't the case, and I'm not even that old.
Yeah.
When again, the old adage is true. When if you can make people believe absurdities, you can get them to commit atrocities.
Absolutely.
Yep. That is the important thing that we all must come to understand, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the ways you can get people to believe absurdities is to blur and or destroy distinctions. I'm going to play a clip of Charlie talking to Tucker Carlson. I know a lot of us are upset at Tucker right now. I'm a little upset at him. He's kind of gone off on his own little thing, but it is the official policy of Apostate Radio that broken clocks are indeed right at least twice a day. So I'm going to play this. I want to play this. I want to play this clip of Charlie and Tucker talking about this stuff. This lady by the name of Spitfire. Hold on, let me bring her up. Spitfire, shout to her. She is a follower of ours. Take 3 minutes on this Sunday to watch Charlie educate Tucker. Watch Tucker's facial expressions. He was in awe of Charlie and took it all in. But honestly, more than Tucker's facial expressions, I want you to, ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to lock in. Please understand. I want y'all to hear this. I really need y'all to hear this. I'm gonna let that is 3 minutes. I'm gonna let it play through. Watch.
I wonder if by continuing to lie, they aren't about everything. They're driving all of us a little crazy. Well, this is why your faith is the most important thing. Because for those of us that are Christians, it doesn't drive you crazy. You actually see what's going on, which is that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and darkness and spirits, that there's a spiritual war here. And you're right, Tucker. I find people in this space that are not anchored to faith, anchored to Jesus, they do lose their mind. Because there is no rational or reasonable explanation for what the country is doing to itself or what we are experiencing. But if you then see and you know that there is a God and we are not him, that there is an entire dimension of angels and demons and spirits that are constantly struggling around us, and that there is a supernatural dimension, as you mentioned, all of a sudden, that does then make sense. It does not make any rational sense to shut down your schools so you could sacrifice the kids so the elderly can live. That makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever to keep your marijuana dispensaries open and your alcohol shops open, but the church non-essential. Only a demonic enterprise would do such a thing. Only a demonic enterprise would say that Easter and Pentecost are non-essential, but race rioting and burning down a Wendy's is essential activity. And Tucker, you talk about this a lot. For those of us that know the truth, we know that our God is a God of order and distinction. What is the first thing that God did? In the Hebrew scriptures, it says, well, and also our scripture, in the original Genesis, Bereshit, which is in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and then he separated and he made sense. He made order out of chaos. Our God is a God of order, and order only comes with distinctions, and distinctions are necessary. Think about all the distinctions that God set up in the first 6 books of Genesis that are currently under attack. The distinction between male and female, the distinction between man and nature, the distinction between the holy and the profane, the distinction between good and evil, the distinction between infant and adult. These distinctions have always been what Western civilization were built upon, but it is Satan's goal to blur and eventually destroy those distinctions, because those distinctions of which we get order, and if you do not have that order, then you have the closest thing to satanic chaos here.
He's absolutely right. Oh, I think you're muted. Or
Yeah, I am. Sorry about
there
that.
we go.
Yeah, man. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're it's tough. This is, I think, kind of where I was trying to get at too. I mean, obviously there's been the radicalization of universities, and obviously then it spreads to like Hollywood and the music business, the music industry, the Grammys and stuff. Yeah, those like those satanic performances, stuff like that. How Hollywood, social media. There's it's just increased wokeness, increased leftism, far left, increased like again displays of like demonic symbolism and stuff. But yeah, I think there with the spread of atheism, right, and the removal of a sense of the spiritual in our country over the last 30 years, 40 years, and going farther back than that, I'm sure, in many ways, you start to lose a sense, and I did too, because I used to be an atheist for a long time until I had, I experimented with psilocybin in my 30s, and I felt a new dimension, a spiritual dimension from that, and that brought me back to be like, oh, I was closed off to this. And now afterwards, you were not. You sent. I have a sense of this exact thing that Charlie Kirk was talking about. How we are actually like the people that we've seen acting demonically. Like they could be redeemed. Like they could maybe come out of that. They're not necessarily. They're not. Well, just real quick. They're not necessarily like evil forever. They might one day be like, wow, I can't believe, if they live long enough and maybe they have some sort of experience or something happens, they could be like, wow, I can't believe I was that guy on stage who was a complete piece of shit on stage, or being that crazy girl who made that. I mean, it's going to be hard. I don't know if they're ever going to get out of that, because it seems like the devil or some demonic force has them by the balls, but it's possible to be redeemed. But he's right. We're fighting against spirits, dark forces, organized, and they're also getting promoted from outside forces like China, Russia, probably like Iran, places like that, who are funding universities and have got the ball rolling of subversion, like Yuri Bezmenov said, in probably started in at least the 60s. All the leftism in our universities. So like we're fighting against all of that, and they're trying to subvert America. They're trying to divide us. They're trying to destroy us from within, because we are far too powerful and have far too much of a great system, or a constitutional system, that they cannot defeat us head on. They just can't. They can't. And we have too many allies. But if we do it from within, great empires can fall from within, even ours. But I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Mikale?
I was just going to say, in light of what you were just saying. So I shared it in the chat here. If you want to pull it up,
I got it.
It's this. It's a screenshot. So this is from one of my friends on Instagram shared this on their Instagram story. And this is kind of, kind of based off what you're saying. This is the positivity that can come from situations like this, where people do start to, they're confronted with evil, and then they see, conservatives or Christians or people like us responding in a way that is healthy, responding in a way that's good, responding in a way that points to what's good. And this is the kind of awakening that can happen with people just as a result of, you know, tragedy staring us all in the face, evil staring us all in the face, and us responding with good. And so I think that's why that's so important. So this, I'll just read it really quick. So, dear Christians, you are reaching us. I left Christianity 20 years ago. I've been a pagan for 10 years now. I still largely believe in the same things, but this tragedy made me see that everything I do to commune with everything I do is to commune with the divine. Being out in nature, reading tarot, celebrating the solstices, it's all actually communing with God. Now, is it actually communing with God? No, but the concept is there's a spiritual reality that exists. There's this good and evil that exists. There's this created order that exists. I just purchased a study Bible. I'm coming home. So are so many others. And it's all because of the beautiful way you have handled yourselves in the wake of this crisis.
Wow.
Wow, that's great.
Wow.
That's a really great
I've been
segue
seeing
there.
a lot of posts like this. You know, we see all the negative posts,
Really
obviously.
good.
But I've been seeing a lot of this. And, you know, even with people like even at church this morning, there was, you know, it was way more full than normal, and probably new people that were there because of this instance. And they probably were like, oh, who's Charlie Kirk? Let me go start watching some of his videos. Let me see what this is all about.
Right.
And he's constantly pointing people to Christ. He's constantly pointing people to go to church. And so this is the kind of impact that's happening on the positive end of things. And hopefully this outweighs the insanity that we're seeing.
So
that's great. That's really great that you brought that up, and I hope that's before I say we go on, because I want to stick to this positivity here.
Well, I have an example of it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was bringing up. I had no idea I was bringing it up on the screen. Sorry about that, woman.
But yeah, I mean, I just want to say, I think this is like, you know, that gives me hope. That's the first thing that's uplifted me. I think this whole freaking conversation. No offense to Mikale, because I know I'm happy Mikale's here to join us, but I just feel so like so much utter disgust and despair of where people, like how far down people have been pulled spiritually, and I'm glad to see that there is hopefully a big groundswell of the opposite happening, like you just pointed out, and you know that's the power of martyrdom. Especially of a Christian, a true Christian, a true spiritual example like Charlie Kirk, is people are inspired by that, and good people who aren't so ideologically warped can immediately sense what we're sensing, even if you're not political, even if you might be a Democrat, or you know, more or less you don't like Trump or something, or you're an independent that just doesn't want to get involved. But you see people celebrating. First of all, you see Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck in front of his kids. That's usually enough to be like, ooh, I don't want to be whoever part of whatever side did that. But then you see people like your friends on Facebook or social media being like, oh boy, man, had it coming. And then you see like even worse stuff than that.
Like people you work with.
I think that will drive a certain amount of people to God, or to the conservative, you know, to more farther to the right. And that's that is like maybe one of the few silver linings of this. And
oh, totally. I mean, even if you look at all the new Turning Point chapters, that there's like 32,000 people filed.
32,000,
crazy number.
32,000. Yeah.
I mean, that is like that's like a revival that's happening in the wake of this, for sure.
I said in our last show that Charlie Kirk was sacrificed like a lamb, like Jesus. Like he's a true Christ-like figure. In the mold of Christ, the way he lived. He had a political ministry, but also like a somewhat spiritual ministry, and he was sacrificed around the same time Jesus was. And he's a modern day Christ-like martyr. And I think the fact that you're saying the things that you're saying proves it off the right. I mean, automatically, that's exactly
the initial. I'm sorry.
God is coming back.
God is moving.
Yeah,
and if there's one thing that I can, the original title of this show was going to be The Order of Saint Stephen Acquires Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and I want to hear more about that, Isaiah, because I'm not familiar with that. Like, what in case people don't know who Saint Stephen is, or
from Acts chapter 4, I think. The martyrdom of Stephen.
I'm not familiar with it. I'm a Catholic, but I kind of been away from the scripture for a long time.
So
in certain ways, some
I'm
ways
going to read that. I'm going to read that, but I do want to share this one positive. Matter of fact, I'll do that after I share this positive thing. But yeah, Paul N says Acts 7.
Acts 7. Yeah, sorry.
I have that. And I'm actually gonna go over that in the next right after this.
Is Saint Stephen a disciple? One of the disciples?
Saint Stephen was the first martyr.
Was he? So he's one of the first 12 disciples then?
No, he was not one of the original 12.
Oh,
He was
okay.
the
Okay.
first one, yeah, but he was the first one to get killed, to have his life taken because of his beliefs.
Wow.
And it's so crazy because a lot of the context. I'm gonna read when I get finished, but because I want to go, I don't want to lose my point here.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to show you what another positive, like this lady.
Yeah,
so the Twitter, the X user, Tony times 2, Tony. This young, he posted this video, and underneath he says, "Oh, the post says, I just had a thought." Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna let this young lady. I think it's Hyacinth LC is her handle. Here we go.
I just had a thought. Why did the Lord allow us to see Charlie Kirk get murdered? Because he could have gotten murdered or martyred at home. It could have happened while he was out shopping. It could have happened while he was asleep. Why did God allow us to see that recorded and published? Mind you, this is broad daylight. You're seeing something that we've never seen before. We've never seen that literally before. A real life assassination, a martyrdom, right? Why did he allow us to see that? Let me tell you why. He allowed us to see it because it separated us. Hallelujah. Watch it. It's literally separating the wheat from the tare, because the natural man would see something like that and say, oh my God, that's terrible. But you got people that saw that and they're reacting and rejoicing over it. That lets you know their heart posture. That lets you know that they're wicked. They can't be helped. But the people that were on the other side that saw it and said, oh my God, I don't even like him, but I can't rejoice over that. They're now coming over to the righteous side. It is separating those. It's putting a mirror on what people really feel and what they think. So what it's doing is it's revealing the truth in people's hearts. Consider this. If we didn't see it, it would be a news story that we would think, oh my gosh, he's gone. But to see it in real life and for people to see it and react a certain way and say that they do not care reveals their true heart posture. It truly reveals how sick, twisted, and demented they are. It reveals that demonic spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. It reveals that spirit. I was just thinking about that. I said, why is it not just a news story? Because if we didn't see it, it's different, right? It's like, oh my God, somebody took his life. But when you consider the fact that everybody could see it and you still have people rejoicing, it's revealing who they truly are.
Yes,
It's
indeed.
revealing the God that they serve, because we do not serve the same God.
Amen.
He separated us. They may serve Jesus, but they don't serve the true Jesus Christ. One more thing to consider. The fact that we saw him, we saw the puncture, we saw how gruesome it was. It's stirring up righteous indignation, it's stirring up righteous judgment, righteous anger in those that stand for the truth. Y'all wait and see what happened. You're going to see righteous men and women standing for the truth, but it's going to be righteous judgment upon the wicked. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think she's got a lot.
Right.
I think homegirl is absolutely right.
That's a very wise, inspired
That's all I've been
observation.
feeling. That's all I've been feeling the last 4 days.
That gives me, this gives me a little bit of positive, hope, about that. That's really interesting, and that's true. I think that is what we're seeing. I mean,
there's this famous quote by this like 2nd century Christian who, I mean, this is a quote that I've seen posted a lot, especially lately. It's simple quote. It says, the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. And so essentially that, like, if you look at church history, it's when Christians are being persecuted and publicly so like this, that the church grows and that God uses that to expand the truth and expand his church. And you see revival in the wake of things like this. It's just this repeated pattern throughout church history. And so I think a big reason for that is the world, they see something evil, kind of exactly what that lady was describing. It reveals our own hearts, and then the world sees how good people, how Christians respond to evil. And when we respond with having prayer and vigils in public, and we're not being violent, and we're not, burning cop cars and throwing rocks in people's
Right.
businesses, or blowing up a Wendy's, or doing crazy stuff like that, like the BLM rioters did.
Mhm.
That causes people to stop and think.
Mhm.
And it causes people to stop and think about their own heart and their own state of their soul, more so than anything else. So I think we're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, that's so true, man. And I think you're right. Like it's every time there's a martyr and like a persecution, yeah, the devil's, it's like almost like the devil overplays his hand or something like that. Like it's like everybody's like, oh, ha ha ha, like, oh, we dead. Yeah, like the evil people do that, or the people who are warped by evil. And then and everybody else is like, oh, no. That's
well,
not,
I mean, look at the disciples.
My better self is gonna emerge from this.
Look
God's
at Jesus's own crucifixion. I mean, that was exactly what happened there. It's stoked this flame in society, by the Spirit of God that has yet to be stamped out. And I don't think it will. I think it just continues to grow over the years. And situations like this just re-solidify that, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
it's
show
incredible.
you.
It's incredible. History repeats itself like that so often, and it has the same effect almost every time.
I want to show y'all this. I actually want to read this. This is the story of Saint Stephen. Okay. And I use Saint Stephen in the Saint Stephen in the Catholic parlance, but I genuinely believe that there is something saintly about this kind of stuff. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the one thing that we don't realize is that, and I'm saying this as someone who is an imperfect man, God uses imperfect men to do things, to work things out to the counsel of his own will. God uses means, and that means is imperfect, fallible men and women. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, like, if you guys are Catholics and know what saint means exactly, but if I understand correctly as a Catholic, what the saint means is the church declares that person is in heaven. That person is in God, with God. Like we don't see any possible way that they couldn't be.
Yeah, biblically, the word saint just means Christian. It's just it's how it describes every Christian in Scripture. Yeah,
I'm not a great. I've been away from church for a while. There really aren't many good churches in New York. I mean, there's one that my parents keep telling me that I should go to in Yonkers, and maybe once we finally, with this move and everything, we will finally check it out. But I want to read this. This is Acts chapter 6, and I'm going to start at verse 8. Now, why am I reading this? Because I feel like this context is very important to understand. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff is going to sound familiar. Okay. Starting at verse 8. And Stephen, full of grace and power, was doing great wonders and signs among the people. Then some of those who belonged to the synagogue of the freedmen, as it was called, and of the Cyrenians and of the Alexandrians rose up and disputed with Stephen. But they could not withstand the wisdom and the spirit. Verse 10 is important. But they could not withstand the wisdom and the spirit with which he was speaking. Verse 11, then they secretly instigated men who said, we have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and God. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes, and they came upon him and seized him and brought him before the council. And they set up false witnesses who said that's another part there in verse 13. And they set up false witnesses who said, this man never ceases to speak words against this place, this holy place, and the law. For we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth will destroy this place and will change the customs that Moses delivered to us. Tell me if that doesn't sound familiar, gentlemen.
Sounds like Jesus's crucifixion. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of exactly the same thing they brought. This almost exactly how Jesus's trial went, and false accusations, the false the libel against him about what he was preaching and what he was actually advocating for. Go ahead. Sorry.
This is what it sounds like. I'm gonna go back to it real quick. When he says, verse 13, this man never ceases. We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and God. That it's that part. We have heard him speak blasphemous words. This man never ceases to speak words against this holy place and the law. Think of who in the last 10 years, think of who have been placed at the holiest, at the top of the oppression pyramid in the United States, throughout Western civilization.
He's been speaking heresy against the gender cult, man.
He's been speaking heresy against against transgenders. He's been speaking
the woke intersectionality.
He's been speaking. That man spoke blasphemy against the church of the state. That's why he is gone. And if you then think about it, everybody, what's the one thing, all the rationalizations, all these people have said, oh, the ones who are really nasty about it, like, well, fuck him. He said bad words. He was a racist. He was a sexist. He was a bigot. He was a homophobe. He was a transphobe. I still don't know what the hell that word means. Like, all of it is just this same stuff. Yep. He spoke blasphemy against our sacred cows, the church of the state.
Yep.
He spoke blasphemy against all of the things that we hold dear. And so he got to go.
Yep.
That's why people have said that, quote unquote, hate speech are really blasphemy laws. Now, the second part to this.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is a good point. That's how
you know these people. Again, that's how you know this. That's how you know this stuff is religious. That's how you know trans is a cult. That's how you know that leftism is a cult. It is a cult in general.
And it's a very atheist political leaning generally.
When you tear,
so you need something to fill that up.
But think about it, Nos.
Yeah.
When you tear away God, when you tear away the external, when you are no longer externally directed to a God, okay, especially the one true God, what happens? A vacuum is created. Narcissism. You become inwardly directed, because what does a black hole do? A black hole sucks. A black hole attracts things into it. And so what do? You try to fill that God-shaped hole with things.
Hedonism,
stuff,
narcissism, self-absorption.
Whether it's all sorts of narcissism. If you are not rooted in that.
Not based.
If you are not based, you become that.
Reminds me of
someone who's ready to kill your own neighbor, your own coworker, your own family member over words.
It reminds me of you guys know who Nietzsche is, the philosopher. So he has this famous God's not dead quote, or this God's dead, we killed him and the blood is on our hands. He has this whole monologue about that. And the point he's making is basically that this man was not a Christian, rejected God, but he was correct in noting that when you remove God from the ethos of a country, when you remove God from the hearts of the people, kind of exactly what you're saying, a vacuum is going to fill it. And then he goes on to basically explain, like, it's just going to be chaos essentially. And we have ourselves to blame for that, is what Nietzsche was essentially saying. And so we're seeing the fruits of that exact thing happening. We've removed God from the public square. We have banned him from civil discourse. And so now we're seeing what happens in response. It's this other religion, this other theos that's replaced it. That's where we're the center. Where it's this narcissistic, inward self-love, and the temple of that is the state essentially. And so it's so twisted.
It's anti-wisdom. It's empty. It's empty self-absorption, empty self-congratulation. You see so much of it, like, oh my God, you're amazing, for like bullshit. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. And it's like some big fucking burly guy with a beard and a dress. It's like it's all lies. It's all anti-tradition, anti-nature, anti-divinity. It's anti-wisdom. It's extremely warped and grotesque. So much of it.
Can I read this quote for you really quick? Just at least part of it.
Go right ahead.
So it says, God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? What was holiest and mightiest of all that the world has yet owned has bled to death. Has bled to death under our knives. Who will wipe this blood off? What water is there for us to clean ourselves? What festivals of atonement, what sacred games shall we have to invent? Is not the greatest of this deed too great for us? Must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it?
Yeah, no, and then Nietzsche, like, for all, people have different views on him. That wasn't a celebratory thing to say, right? He was not saying, "Oh, this is great. Finally, God's dead, and we're."
This is the worst thing we could do.
This could be one of the worst things, and he is prophetic, super prophetic with that. He's a very, very brilliant guy to understand that, even though he was not so happy with Christianity and at the time and stuff like that. He was just like, this is probably be better to just stay Christians and have faith in that.
And this last line is really what we're seeing right now. It says, must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it? That's exactly what we're experiencing.
Something that stood out to me, what he said was about what new rituals or games or sacred.
Yeah.
That is, I just read about that recently in social psychology. I think it was Jonathan Haidt's, one of Haidt's books, because he talks about it quite a bit, and about like the importance of religion, even though he's an atheist himself.
Yeah.
That, and also some other, I think Dr. DeSteno was talking about it, but he said like actual rituals are really important. Religious rituals are very important. They give you much more benefits than just simply having faith or just simply believing in God, which is better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing to have faith and believe in God. That's great. But if you do the rituals, if you go to church, if you do the prayers, like even like what the Muslims do, how they do it 5 times a day, all that sort of thing can make a really big difference in your life, your mental health, your spiritual health, how you feel about yourself. Like, they've done a lot of studies on this, and it's, again, very prophetic and intelligent of Nietzsche to understand that's actually something to mention there. It's not just an empty. We've been taught, I think it's like, in our atheistic times, that like all that stuff's stupid, it's silly. Oh, look at him doing this, doing that. It's like it's again, I think it's like demonic, satanic manipulation and pride blinding us arrogantly. Well, I'm not saying the people who feel that way are evil, because they're not. They've been deceived. They've been deceived.
That's the lie from the Garden of Eden: is you're God.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We don't need God. You're God. You know better. I mean, that's the original lie, and we just see that repeated over and over and over again in human history.
Ye shall not surely die.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Did God really say? Yeah.
Did God really say? Jesus Christ, I sound like my father. Shout to Mr. Kevin Carter. Papa, I love you.
Hey man, he wasn't wasting his time doing that. It came out one day.
That's exactly no, bro. That's exactly how my dad says it. I could call him up right now and have it be like, how would you say? It's like, ye shall not. Like, did God really say you wouldn't eat of the fruit of the garden? Like, my dad says it that exact same way, bro.
A lot of wisdom, man. A lot of wisdom in that stuff. Whether it's like exactly happened that way or not doesn't really matter. It's the wisdom of it. It's these are old. Some of those stories, as I think Dr. Peterson would say, are probably predate history. They predate Judaism, even. Like, they're just they might be word of mouth oral traditions that maybe predate anything that was even considered Judaism or anything else. It's just maybe something that a lot of people believed. And then it became part of Jewish religion, and became part of the Christian religion and other religions as well.
Yeah.
It's foundational to civilization.
Now I want to show y'all one thing that if you really want to know, and matter of fact, I'm gonna show you two things. One is from our friend James Lindsay, the Grandmaster. We call him over here, okay? And he is our friend. We love you, James. We know you're going through a tough time right now, brother.
Shout out to James, man. We'll have you back on. You ever want to talk, brother?
Whenever you want to, and I mean this, if you see this, brother, whenever you want to come back on, this is our platform is yours. As far as I'm concerned, our platform is your platform. You can come on here and talk, and we'll be here for you. We mean that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he wrote this tonight. Or no, he wrote this yesterday, in fact. I'm sorry. Or wait, no, he wrote this today, this morning. Leftists are becoming 14th. Jesus. Month is halfway done. Leftists are becoming more violent because they're losing, not because they're winning. Notice that it's your own impotent rage that makes you want to be violent if you do. Good to keep in mind for
That's
all
smart.
the reasons.
It's very smart.
Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm a little convicted by that, because I'm convinced that, and again, maybe you can help me understand this, or maybe walk me through this, because this is something I'm dealing with, like, internally. I am at a point where if we don't get this right, and when I say get this right, I am talking specifically to President Trump, Vice President Vance, AG Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and even Dan Bongino. Okay? I'm talking to everybody at the top of our federal government right now. Fuck the legislative branch. The legislative branch ain't gonna do shit. I'm talking specifically to the people within the executive branch. You have they have a very, very, very small window to end these people. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I want them all gone. Okay. I want every single institution, I want every single leftist institution dismantled, defunded. I want people in prison, because this is a systemic thing. Okay.
Absolutely.
I want George Soros. I want men like George Soros in prison. I want men like John Stryker and his Arcus Foundation, who's one of the biggest underground financiers of the gender cult. I want John Stryker in prison. I want Tim Gill in prison. I want Human Rights Campaign. I want them dissolved. I want GLAAD dissolved. I want GLAAD dissolved in particular because they actually called out a few people and named names in their in a statement. One of them was Chloe Cole, a detransitioner. Okay, so you're basically naming names, and because we know how the Democrats are operating, we know how the machine state is operating. And I don't mean to go long here, but I want to make this point. There is a very, very limited window to get this done. You cannot rely solely upon the 2026 midterms to keep to keep this going. You need to get these fuckers, and you need to get them out, and you need to take down these institutions right now. Every single one of them. Open society, I don't care. The leftist, the entire machine state has to be destroyed. Because once you take out the money, You take out the lower levels. You take out Antifa. You take out all the berserkers. And the reason why I say this, okay, I'm being very, very serious. If the Trump administration, and I've got a lot of faith in them because they've done a lot of big, big things. If they don't get this right and purge every institution of these demonic fucking people, they are eventually going to force a situation where we're going to be faced with violent confrontation. This ain't going to be some coward piece of shit on a roof 300 meters away with a 30-06. This ain't going to be that. Okay? I'm talking like these people are nuts. They're nuts. They are the type of people. These aren't like your run-of-the-mill narcissists, right? These aren't like the fucking narcissists in your family who can simply go, you can simply move away from them, right? They want to do little bullshit or whatever. You can move away from them. You don't have to. You can block them from your phone. You could block them on social media, whatever. No. We are talking about mentally ill, narcissistic people. We are talking about violent people who have been fed a diet 10 years long of there is that right wingers are evil, Republicans are evil, Republicans are Nazis. Trump is a threat to democracy. Trump is a fascist. Trump is this. Trump is a fascist. Trump is this. Your Republican, your local Republican is a fascist. They've been fed this diet for 10 years.
At least.
And they are forcing and they are forcing a violent confrontation because again, they're not just on the federal level. They're not even just on the state level. They're in your local areas.
They're in your schools.
They're in your schools.
Yep.
They're in your city council. They're in your community boards.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You have violent berserkers everywhere. And I'm telling you right now, if they don't get this right, if the Trump administration does not get this right, we're going to end up with a situation where we, the people, are going to have to prevent something like what the Red Guards did during the Cultural Revolution.
Yep.
That is my genuine fear. I don't know what you like your thoughts on this, guys.
Especially in education, because I think again, this is where this is the hotbed of where these ideas are being pumped into people. You're talking about the being spoon fed. That's where the food's being made, and largely, I mean, and so again, you see that's why you see the most violent situations like this. Why are they always happening on campuses, on university campuses? It seems like the most crazy people I've ever seen were on college campuses. And I think it's because, again, they're not only spoon-fed this, but they're told they're in the right and they're justified for acting out on these beliefs and doing stuff like what this guy just did. Now you have MSNBC saying, Charlie Kirk had it coming, and this just fuels these people even more.
Yep.
It just fuels it. So if exactly what you're saying, where the Trump administration, if any institution that is government funded, federally funded, universities, you name it, doesn't stop this stuff immediately, he needs to cut the money supply immediately.
That's how I feel.
And because for the sake of the safety of citizens, of every citizen in this country, that isn't that.
Yeah, I agree. I think, look, like I mentioned before, everybody needs to watch that Yuri Bezmenov. Have you ever seen this, Mikale? The Yuri Bezmenov?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, everybody needs to watch this. This is from the 80s. It's a KGB. I think it's called KGB Soviet, former Soviet Yuri Bezmenov explains the subversion of the West from the Soviet Union, right, at the time. And now, it started in like probably the 50s and or 60s. We started to see it in the 60s in universities, like the critical theory type stuff before it was called that, with Marcuse and stuff like that. And then all the way through the 70s, 80s, building up to all these different periods of like wokeness, PC culture in the 90s, all that. Critical race theory came out, gender stuff started coming out, intersectional feminism, third wave, fourth wave feminism. All this stuff, as you can see, is meant to subvert us and divide us. Like it's making women hate men hate women. It's making women not want to be mothers, not want to be married. And then when they find out, like they're 35 years old, when they're like done being a girl boss or whatever, that they want to have kids, it's like, there is a biological clock, and it's difficult to have children after 35 for a lot of women, especially if you've been taking birth control your whole life, like that, who knows what that does to you. So, I mean, just things like that. And then you have the gender stuff, and you're teaching that to children at a very young age, and the kids are freaking autistic or mentally ill, and they're already being, feeling ostracized, and both parents are working. Maybe they're not getting enough touch with their parents. You name it. Then social media, all of this stuff is it seems to be a perfect storm of what's going on. But in that video, he explains that this is what the Soviet Union has been doing in the 80s. He said this on like a TV show. It's not like an AI video. It's not like a MAGA extremist or some fake news guy, or woke right guy or something like that. It is like a documentary of the guy talking about his life, and then he mentions that quickly, like for like 15 minutes, he talks about it, calls them useful idiots. He calls them leftist scholars, leftist journalists. He said in his Russian accent, he's like, they are useful idiots, and they will bring about the subversion of your country. You're seeing this now. You will see it more in the future. And it's like, that is what is happening. So like, this is a national security threat. There's a national security. So like, to your point, like any college, first of all, any college that is promoting this stuff, this radical activist, subversive stuff, like really, it's not education. It's meant to make you hate America, hate white people, hate men, hate, then you have the manosphere backlash that makes you hate women. It's totally divisive and anger inducing. The gender shit, the fat studies, all of this stuff is nonsense. It's not, and it's meant to divide us and make us angry.
It's meant
so that's got to go. That's got to go. And honestly, it's got to go as it's almost like a terrorist radicalization stuff. I think those have to go. Like if people want to study that on their own, like reading Mein Kampf on their own at the library or something, then go ahead and do it. But that needs to get out of our schools. I think all of our schools, all of them.
And a lot of people talk about freedom of speech when it comes to this. Oh, are you saying you want to like clamp down on people's? No, all we're saying is our own government, who has a God-given right and authority to protect us and to punish the guilty and to protect the innocent, shouldn't be funding our own destruction. Like it's that simple.
And that's exactly what's happening.
Yep.
And we need to err on the side of patriotism, and err on the side of gratitude, and err on the side of one nation under God.
If people want to read Mein Kampf or love Joseph Stalin, go, okay, cool.
Go and do that on your own free time. Do that on your own.
My tax dollars should not be paying for it.
Not at all. And we have so many more important things to learn in school that we're not learning, or the education has gone down the shitter. Everybody's dumber than ever. Can't read as well as they used to. They can't do math as well as they used to, not even close. It's like, so we don't have time to be teaching, you need to hate white men, and you need to hate women, or you need to hate men. I'm sorry. You need to hate Christians. You need to hate America classes. Like do that shit on your own. If you're parents and you want to teach your kids that stupid shit, make your kid a loser, cool. But it's up to you. If you want to teach your kids gender ideology, it's child abuse in my opinion, but do it and see what happens. But do not do that to our children in school, the taxpayer, especially tax-funded schools, man, institutions. No, none of that. No more of that.
I'm trying to find.
That's got to go for good. I think they need to make a law about that. Not just and that's one thing I hope Trump and his administration and the Republicans in the future, they got to do more lawmaking, like especially something like that. That's super important, and not just rely on executive orders, because as soon as he's out of office,
keep talking, guys.
They could just reverse
and
that,
even
right?
at the local level,
Right,
it's not just.
Keep talking.
Local level.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's even just at the local level. It's not just, the Trump administration, although they have all this responsibility as well, but even local politicians, like statewide, like they need to stop funding this stuff. It's quite literally destroying our country from the inside out, which is, again, the whole point of this stuff in the first place. And it creates this weird political dialectic where it just fuels two extremes, like we said about the feminism fueling the manosphere, and it gets men to hate women, women to hate men. You see this with everything politically. You see this with the Black Lives Matter stuff, adjacent to the like white identitarian Nick Fuentes stuff. It's just these two extremes that are pulling society kind of, looks like they're pulling society in opposite directions, but they're pulling us in the same direction. It's just complete radicalization and destruction from inside the country.
The horseshoe theory happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's maddening to me, because I see this happening, and they trick the young kids and the left and the Democrats. I mean, the older Democrats are radicalized by MSNBC and CNN and New York Times, who are super woke. I mean, they don't realize that those aren't real journalists anymore. Those are all woke, commentators, woke supposed journalists who have the Overton windows moved so much far to the left that they do. A lot of them probably do think Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, or basically a Nazi, because they've been warped so far to the left. He's saying some shit that like Obama and Hillary used to say, like about immigration or something like that, and it's like, how is he a Nazi? Like, it's just so ridiculous. So he's a Christian. He thinks abortion's bad. Yeah, no shit. He's a Christian.
And then what it does is
and abortion, by the way, is bad. It's bad. It's like, it's never a good thing, no matter what, even if I sometimes find it understandable, like if you got raped or whatever, or you do it early enough. It's like, I understand it, and I'm not going to like say you're a terrible person for that. God will judge you. It's not my role to judge you, but it is never a good thing. In
it should never be celebrated, and they like
certainly never should be celebrated.
It's like it used to, what was abortion? The old saying was safe, legal, and rare, and then they just threw out the rare part and started celebrating it in the streets.
And they had it in the DNC. Remember, they had an abortion van or abortion trailer.
They had an IUD outside of like an IUD,
demonic,
like blow up doll. Like, kill.
If you want to kill your baby and then celebrate Democrat politics, come by.
Things, and I have this on video somewhere. One of the most demonic things I've ever seen was Stacey Abrams. I think she said this in either 2021. Where she was like, well, if you want to improve your economic situation, get an abortion. Or something to that effect. Like, it was the most wicked shit I've ever heard in my life. It's like, this is a lady who sat around a bunch of masked children, unmasked, almost as if to model the behavior that we are your betters. Okay. It was the most, it was like, it's satanic stuff.
It reminds me of, there was a couple years ago at the Oscars, I think it was, where there's some actress, I'm forgetting what her name was, but she goes on stage. She won an Oscar, and she goes on stage and talks about how, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for my right to choose. Just celebrating her own financial or career success at the expense of the life of her own children.
So nuts.
And like, everybody's just cheering it on in the crowd.
And I get
so evil.
Yeah, it is. I get the feeling of like, hey, if I didn't make that decision, maybe I wouldn't be able to actress. I get that, but do you need to like bring it up in front of everybody and talk, like celebrate it?
It's like, it's the glorying in it and the celebrating. And that's just particularly evil.
Lena Dunham did something as well back in. You remember her? She made this a statement, I think, during like kind of peak wokeness or beginning of peak wokeness, that she's like, I wish. She said, I wish I had an abortion before, or something. Like, she like wish she had abortion so she can like know what it felt like, or she can like stand in solidarity with people who did. It's like, what?
You
wish you just had the chance to have an abortion? Like, what is wrong with you?
To borrow from,
nobody should wish for that.
It's Michelle Williams was the actress I'm thinking of. But
okay, yeah.
To borrow from the late George Carlin, like, only someone who you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place would say something like that.
Yeah, well, that's probably why she did have to say something like that.
Dead serious.
She never caught a stray one.
You would not want someone you wouldn't want. Like, just like, you just look at that and you're just like,
it's obscene.
Ew. Yeah, and she's actually gotten worse. Like, she looked bad like when Girls was a thing, but now she's just like,
yeah, well,
like, the crescent rolls that come in like the styrofoam, like the can. You look like one of them shits.
Well, yeah, it's just really nasty things to say, and it's like they don't even think about what comes out of their mouth. I
want to play this clip of.
I just sent the video of that actress. I don't know if you guys want to play it, but it's in the chat.
After this.
Yeah.
But I want to play this because I think it has a lot to do. Again, Charlie was a knowledgeable guy, and again, talking to Tucker. Okay, you're off the deep end, but here, check this out.
Political radicalism needs a catalyst. Political radicalism does not come out of peace, prosperity, rising wages, stable families, church attendance, and happy people. Happy people, grateful people,
do not get behind Vladimir Lenin, and they certainly don't get behind Chavez or Castro.
That's right.
People that own nothing, that feel like their property is diminishing, or they don't have property, or their dollar is diminishing in value, they start.
The video is not matching the mouths of the video is out of sync. Let me try again.
Political radicalism needs a catalyst. Political radicalism does not come out of peace, prosperity, rising wages, stable families, church attendance, and happy people. Happy people.
You know, let me try that. Let me do this. Let me do this for this one thing that Mick wanted to show. Oh yeah, I think I remember this one. Again, another somebody else you wouldn't want to create anything with.
Just embarrassing.
Michelle Williams. Here we go. Let me just hit that and
yeah.
The choices that they make as an actor, moment by moment, scene by scene, day by day, but you're also acknowledging the choices they make as a person, the education they pursued, the training they sought, the hours they put in. I'm grateful for the acknowledgement of the choices I've made, and I'm also grateful to have lived at a moment in our society where choice exists, because as women and as girls, things can happen to our bodies that are not our choice. I've done my very best to live a life of my own making, and not just a series of events that happened to me, but one that I could stand back and look at and recognize my handwriting all over, sometimes messy and scrawling, sometimes careful and precise, but one that I had carved with my own hand. And I wasn't able to do this without employing a woman's right to choose.
I killed my kid, so therefore I can do what I feel more powerful. Empowerment through death.
Narcissistic.
Just narcissistic,
it really is.
Self-absorbed garbage. Look at this! Look at the look on these fucking people's faces.
This is the demonic cult that's being taught to every kid in public education right now. This is what it leads to.
Choose when to have my children and with whom. When I felt supported and able to balance our lives, knowing, as all mothers know, that the scales must and will tip towards our children. Now, I know my choices might look different than yours, but thank God, or whomever you pray to, that we live in a country founded on the principle that I am free to live by my faith and you are free to live by yours. So women 18 to 118, when it is time to vote, please do so in your own self-interest. It's
oh my God.
No,
that didn't work out too well.
The point of freedom is not "do what thou wilt," as the satanic slogan. It's the reason freedom exists is so that we can do what's right. That's why it exists. It's not a self-serving, narcissistic endeavor or principle. But these people want to, again, it's this demonic inversion of everything that's good. What's good is evil and what's evil is good. They want to flip it upside down and make it all about them. It's
so, because see, this is the further inversion, because we keep we just keep dealing with these inversions. We see them all the time. There's an inversion that I want to, this guy, because I'm telling you, this guy who carried this out probably feels like he was in the right. That he felt he had that he felt he had some type of good reason that he was going to be remembered. Everybody, the one thing I love to hear this statement. I love when people say this. They go, "Well, I'm going to be on the right side of history." The right side of history. So rather than even being concerned, think of how demonic it is and self-absorbed. Think of how short-sighted it is to be more concerned about how you're remembered in history. If anyone were to write a book about you, okay, think of how self-absorbed and self-righteous you have to be to obsess about that instead of being worried more or less about what's going to happen with your children. or
just
where you're
doing
going
the
to
right
go
thing.
after you die.
Yeah.
Where are you going to spend eternity? Like people, like instead of thinking about stuff like that, no, I want to be remembered in some fictional, in some theoretical history book. I'm going to be remembered when our movement is dominant, and we finally get to that perfect utopia. I'm going to be remembered. Guess what? Them kids in the Cultural Revolution and the Great Leap Forward thought the exact same thing. And you know what ended up happening? Mao sent them off to the fucking wilderness. Mao sent them right out to go farm with the peasants because they'd become too radical.
That's what Yuri Bezmenov said too. He said they get rid of the leftists. They kill the leftists first. The communists.
Because the real communists, the inner school, and those like the money people, like the George Soroses, what's his name, the Klaus Schwabs, the Larry Finks, the real money powers. Okay, the real powers that run this world, they start to look at people like that and they go, you know what? You're a liability. It's time to get rid of you.
Right.
Even after these people killed 40 to somewhere between 40 and 80 million people in China, they murdered tens of millions.
They also just let I think a lot of at least 20 million of them, I think, just starved to death from famine.
Exactly.
Because they
the devil always eats his own children first.
Because they killed the best farmers, because they did
Ukraine, the Holodomor.
Yeah, because they don't know how to farm because they killed the best farmers, and they tried different communist Lysenkoist farming techniques or whatever. And they tens of millions of people starved to death.
That guy, Trofim Lysenko,
that's communism.
One of the
that's
things
socialism.
he said, I remember, I think I read this either on James Lindsay's page or wherever. Lysenko said he could teach trees and plants communism.
Yeah.
He could teach them socialism.
Bananas.
And somehow they would magically spring up. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? That is who we are dealing with. We are dealing with some of the most evil, deranged, cultish people on the face of the planet. People that like we are dealing with real demonic energy. I've never seen anything like this.
Luxury beliefs, man. Luxury beliefs like that can turn into millions of people starving to death. Or killing each other or whatever, you know,
or a Muslim socialist becoming mayor of New York City,
and trying to abolish prisons.
Yeah. By the way, Kathy Hochul just officially endorsed Zoran.
Really,
Governor of New York. The governor of New York.
I'm surprised she didn't already.
The Muslim communist, the paleo communist, just endorsed him for mayor.
I mean, the funny thing is, he's probably not
makes Eric Adams and Cuomo look like the good guys.
He's probably not going to do any of the shit that because he can't.
Understand, if we're gonna get into that,
yeah.
Understand, those three guys, they all believe this. They all believe the same shit.
Yeah,
they're basically the same kind of leftist. Cuomo, Adams, again, the bike like I here in New York City. The bike lane shit is ridiculous. Adams was the one who, well, Bloomberg started it, but under Adams is when that stuff really got pushed like all over the place. Bike lanes, the road dieting, and then all the other stuff. This guy fired tens of thousands of police officers for not getting the COVID shot. I have a friend of mine on the Finest Unfiltered. Shout to John McCary.
That's crazy.
Okay. On the Finest Unfiltered podcast, I know we're way off topic here. Zoran went on that show, went on the Finest Unfiltered, and John McCary, the host of that show, shout to him. He asked Zoran directly, he's like, would you hire back those cops? Zoran said no. The machine state decrees no. You did not inject a questionable shot into your body, and so you have sinned against the state. So now guess what? You don't get your you don't get your job back ever. That's the totalitarianism that is the type of totalitarianism, honestly, that took out Charlie. We're dealing with totalitarians. The state is God to these people, ladies and gentlemen. The state is God. No one can come before the state. Paul says, a theologian of glory calls evil good and good evil. A theologian of the cross calls the thing what it is. From Martin Luther. Huh.
He's right.
Wow. Never heard that quote before.
Yeah, that's funny. Actually, I thought it said Martin Luther King at first. I just realized it was Martin Luther, the Reformation.
I do want to share this. This is the video I was talking about. Here's a guy who probably thought he was doing the right thing and sticking it to a Trump supporter or whatever. This happened in Swain, somewhere in the Carolinas. Matter of fact, let me just double check to make sure it's on the screen. And here we go.
Watching the scene live, says he went outside and fired his rifle twice in the air.
Let him know that somebody's watching him, and didn't appreciate it.
Then, as the man drives off, you see him raise his gun out of the sunroof of his car. That's when the owner says that man shot at him. Watching the scene live, says he went outside and fired his rifle twice in the air.
Let him know that somebody's watching him, didn't appreciate it.
Then, as the man drives off, you see him raise his gun out of the sunroof of his car. That's when the owner says that man shot at him.
That's what we're dealing with.
Dude, the left is going nuts, man.
Think about that.
Really are.
Think about that. Think about that.
You're gonna get in a freaking violent altercation with firearms over a goddamn Trump banner,
over a Trump flag. And don't think for 1 second that they wouldn't do it. Remember a couple months ago.
They're gonna fuck around and find out, man, with the wrong guy. If they keep on doing shit like that, they're going to.
Point. That's what I keep trying to when I say that they are going to force violent confrontation.
Real.
Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, I am not calling for this.
Me neither. No, but
I am not trying to instigate anything. But you have to call a thing a thing. These people are violent. They want you gone, and they will do whatever it takes. Think about it. They have lost the argument.
Yeah.
When Charlie Kirk got hit in the neck and his blood and all that blood that came out of his carotid artery hit that ground, the debate's over. Guess what? You got what you wanted. The debate is over. So now here's what's going to happen. Now you're going to get dealt with like a violent threat, like the violent domestic terrorist threat that you assholes were calling the right wing.
It should be.
You assholes projection whenever they say that.
Assholes were calling conservatives. You were projectively calling conservatives these evil fascists who were violent and everything else. Could never prove anything. Okay? Could never prove anything. You had guys, and I got clips of this too. You got guys who ran up on Charlie Kirk with full goat gear, full satanic gear. Y'all were really trying to get this dude up out of here because the devil knew. I'm telling you, this honestly has made me run back to my faith a bit.
Yeah.
Because
the only way you can make sense of stuff, man, like this, and get back and calm yourself and find some kind of solace is to go back to it.
Ephesians 6 is real shit, bro.
If you don't have it, you have a big void in your life, as we're seeing.
Michael Knowles brought this up on a recent podcast he did in response to this Charlie Kirk thing. He was talking about how one of the major news networks, I don't remember which one it was, like MSNBC or CNN or one of those, was reporting, or no, was it New York? Maybe it was New York Times. I don't remember. It was some major news network, lefty news network, that was reporting that, well, most of actually, they said like 76% of political violence actually comes from the right. And then here's what's interesting. is the reason that that's the case is because they're not reporting or categorizing stuff like this as left-wing political violence.
Yeah,
For example, that one shooting in Nashville. Remember that one shooting at the Catholic school in Nashville?
Yes.
A couple of years ago or whenever that was.
Remember they hid the manifesto?
Yeah, this person was a trans shooter, had a full-on manifesto, a political manifesto, outlining what they were doing and why. And guess what? The local law enforcement did not record that as left-wing political violence. It was just,
How is this not happening in Nashville? Like, I don't understand how, like, in red states, I guess every goddamn city in America just a blue city. Like, I don't know, how does this happen?
Seems
like,
that way.
It's happened so much in red states too. Like all this, like you're seeing
It's
like the
it's
gender
these
stuff
cities.
happening in
They're not-
Virginia. It's like, how is this happening, man?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, at that point, it's like at that point the law enforcement or whoever is in charge of reporting what that is should be fired immediately. Because I mean, they're
totally,
instigating
100%,
more violence
at
by
least.
lying about stuff like that.
They don't care. Because again, like think of it. I want to go back to that.
Totally should be fired.
They should be, but they're not. And but I want y'all to think about this for a second. The entire story of there's a reason why I read Acts chapter 6 and that last part when talking about Saint Stephen. These people lied. All these other groups who it is the quintessential cause of death for people. Someone becomes too big for certain groups to the point where we got to get rid of them. I'm not gonna pull it up on the screen again, but
can I say one thing quick?
Go ahead, dude.
So that story in Acts, if you continuing to read, Stephen argues against them, picture this courtroom situation where they have these false accusers and they're lying about him, about what he's saying and what he's preaching, and he rebukes them and tells them exactly the truth in accordance with what Jesus taught, with what the Old Testament teaches, and he basically makes them look like fools. And then what's their response? We're going to kill you.
Yeah,
that's the response. They lost the argument.
Tear out his
in other
tongue.
words. Yeah.
What was it? What's the quote? If somebody tears out your tongue, it's only because they're afraid of what you're going to say, or something like that.
Yes, that's exactly what. Yeah,
that's a great quote, and it's exactly why they did what they did to Charlie as well.
That's exactly. Now, again, you
couldn't take it anymore.
Y'all want some more proof that this is indeed a spiritual battle. That this is exactly that we are dealing with something very, very dark and demonic. I'll show you this right now. This happened. This happened right after Kirk got shot. From the ex-user Sit-Rep Fubar, you don't hate the Democrats enough. A moment of silence was requested on the floor of Congress in honor of the political assassination victim Charlie Kirk, and Democrats lost their minds and erupted into chaos. Pretty sure I heard Jasmine Crockett getting ratchet and yeah, here we go.
What purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise? Let's wait a minute. Wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
The fuck is going on here, man? Can't even stay silent for a minute.
The House will be in order.
The context of this is the next one after feedback and seeing another review. The moment of silence was granted, and the disgruntled opposition was Boebert requesting a brief spoken prayer. Personally, I don't get why that was such a big deal. The Democrats' response was over the top. And I'm not sure. Okay, so there was a little bit more to this.
So they were trying to have a moment of silence for
They're trying
Charlie?
to have a moment of silence for Charlie, and I guess somebody must have felt Lauren Boebert must have felt like it wasn't enough or something. I don't know, but that's a bit ridiculous. But the point is, you can't even have a moment of silence for this guy. A moment of silence for a dude who was for a man for a father, a husband who was killed in the prime of his life. I said this earlier. He was mowed down in the prime of his life out of nowhere. And to the point where now, and this is how you know, again, this is something spiritual. When they're trying to have a moment of silence and it's interrupted by people who just have to make it about them. They just have to make the moment about them because they'll just die if they don't have a single second of attention on them. I do not. I'm telling you right now, I hate the fact that there is so much narcissism in this world, that there is so much spiritual decay. There's so much enmity. Again, the wheat was just like the lady said earlier. The wheat was separated from the tares by that video. The wheat was separated from the tares, where people who might talk a good game, might talk like they're serving God, might talk like they're decent people. All it took was a single shot to the neck to reveal people's true hearts after all this time.
Yeah, I think Charlie there was a tweet. I don't remember when he tweeted this or how long ago it was, but it was a tweet that's been circulating a lot over the last couple of days where he said something like, you learn a lot about somebody when you see how they respond when someone dies.
Yeah,
and
we learned quite a
you're
bit.
seeing that now for sure.
Yeah.
On full display.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you this too. This is something from our boy James. He says, actually, Charlie shared this. He shared this, and he said, James Lindsay explains the Marxist tactics. Oh my God, why can't I speak? James Lindsay explains the Marxist tactics of the modern left. You divide the population into two categories: the people who are complying, who are the good guys, and the people who are not complying, the bad guys. It's that simple. So I'm gonna let James speak for himself in this. So let me just get back to here, and now I've got it. Okay, let's go.
Here's how it works. You divide the population into two categories: the people who are complying, who are the good guys, and the people who are not complying, and they're the bad guys. That's simple. And what you do is you promise the population that everything is going to be good. We're going to have socialism, it's going to work great. We're going to have racial justice, it's going to work great. We can open up the economy once he gets their vaccine, and it'll be great. And then you blame the people who don't comply for all of the suffering that's happening that you're probably causing to them. That's what Mao Zedong did again and again and again to conquer China. That's what they did to us with COVID. That's what they did to us with Trump derangement syndrome. That's what they've done to us with identity politics, and that's what they're doing to us with climate change. You have to be sustainable. We heard President Trump last night, sustainable rockets or whatever, sustainable jets. We're gonna, what did he say? Bomb the shit out of them, but we're gonna protect the environment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we are. That's exactly where we are.
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And this is who we're getting. The one thing that I find interesting though is that this happened organically. That friend enemy, like when you this whole friend enemy distinction, one shot exposed who people's real friends and real enemies were. And all it took was morals. Think of all the work. Now, I'm on record as saying that narcissists. Narcissists are lazy fucking people, right? I've said this many, many times. Narcissists are lazy people. Socialists are lazy people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Which is
the only
true.
way they can get ahead is by tearing everybody else down.
Exactly. But think of this for a second. All the work it took to turn people against each other, right? All these friend-enemy distinctions. You don't get the vaccine, you're one of you're one of those black identities, right? To borrow some parlance from Mao. You're one of the bad people. Once everybody gets the COVID shot, we all can go outside. I remember that. Once everybody gets their shot, then we can release the COVID restrictions. We can release the crowd restrictions.
And the people that aren't doing it, that's the reason you're locked in your house.
Exactly. You're locked in because of those people over there. You need to do what the machine state decrees. Everybody must get their shot, or else no one can go outside. And you notice, and let me show you how the rest of that was planted earlier. Whenever you heard people say, ain't none of us free if we all ain't free. Y'all remember that, don't you? Ain't none of us free if we all ain't free. So that was how they got black feminists to mule for trans the hardest.
It's a feminist trans way of saying ain't no fun unless your homegirl can't have none.
Well, there's that, but no, but I'm dead serious. Like, I remember hearing from all the black feminists and the black gays, okay, all them black LGBTQ IAPs, okay, all of them were talking like, well, ain't none of us free if we all ain't free. I'm like, and it was done essentially to try and normalize transgenderism in the black community. I heard it all the time, like all throughout the first Trump years, and then throughout the Biden era. And again, it's that kind of messaging, that type of, it's that type of messaging that was just a regular thing to do with these people. Everything was about group. Everything was about groups. I'm gonna show you something real quick. More of this friend enemy to see. Chris Murphy said to, oh wow, we got some breaking news. Well, breaking an hour ago. It looks like 48 is going to be hosting the Charlie Kirk show tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh shit. All right, cool. I like that.
Oh, awesome.
Like 48. Yes, I know that people have said that the people have their issues with JD Vance. I personally love this man.
I like JD a lot.
JD Vance is one of the most honorable men you'll ever meet. Okay. And the reason why I say that, again, I've never met the man. I've never met the vice president. But the reason why you do that is because when they took Charlie's body back to Arizona, guess who was one of the pallbearers?
Yeah, JD went down there, man. Carrying his casket.
JD personally carried that
Vice President of the United States.
The vice president, and this, that
was great. I love that he did that.
I don't know why I'm getting so emotional about this, but bro, when you live your life in such a way that the vice president of the United States of America carries your casket home to your wife, do you understand what that means? I'm sorry, I've been thinking about that. Like the vice president of the United States himself carried that man's casket home.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that had me going crazy, man.
And he flew the casket on his personal, on Air Force Two.
I think it was Air Force Two. Yeah. As he should, man.
He made sure his friend got home.
Yeah. No, I know. That's
people got the audacity to call this man racist and evil and nasty and spiteful.
No, man. The majority of people
No
know better.
one who is like that would get that kind of treatment.
No.
Ever.
Of course they would. You know, of course the media will and the left will spin that. But yeah, 100%, man. That's moving. It's very moving, and I actually I love this move because I think somebody should sit in that chair and somebody should continue it and just like nothing fucking not that nothing happened, but just keep on going, going. Like, that's what he would want to happen. That's what that's what Charlie Kirk would want. You don't just shut him up like that. Now there's gonna be somebody else there, and JD Vance can talk. JD Vance is smart. He good God, he fucking whooped.
So is JD Vance hosting the show? Was that the news?
I think so. At least from one show, I think. Right?
I apologize, guys. I didn't mean to go off like that, but you really don't understand. There's something about honor. Okay.
Yeah. No, I do, man.
About honor.
I was moved by just I was thinking about what you're saying. It's like that's really that he really honored him there, and he really did. And look, not only that. Like, I think the way that almost everybody, I know there's been a lot of people we talked about that have been laughing, but they're obviously like just ignorant, misguided, demonically compelled people, honestly, that are just super ignorant people warped by social media and their indoctrination. But most people had completely honored Charlie Kirk. He is like the MLK of our time. Like, I don't think that's an exaggeration. I don't think that's an exaggeration.
Glenn Beck said something to that effect that he's like, well, like Charlie Kirk should be thought of as a civil rights leader in the same.
Yeah, I like that.
As a Martin Luther King.
The civil rights he's talking about is the fucking freedom of speech.
Exactly.
The most important fucking freedom right that we have. Like that is the civil right that he just died for and fought for and died for. And in general, just the value of dialogue between people of different political views. That he is 100% deserving of that. Because he knows he's not a dumb person, clearly. He's sitting out in an open field. He just saw Trump almost get killed last year twice. And he still is like, I'm still going to go out there. I'm still going to go. Anything can happen to me. He's not dumb. But he's like, we'll see how it goes, man. I'm going to keep talking to these people. And that's extremely brave. And that's a true martyr.
Unrelated news to anything. I don't know if either one of you guys follow boxing.
A little bit, yeah.
Ricky Hatton died today.
Ricky Hatton. Wasn't he
British fighter. 46 years old, he died. I just saw that.
How did he die?
I don't know. I just saw it. But what's crazy is I saw it in this. Apparently there's been a vigil for Charlie Kirk at the Kennedy Center tonight in DC. And let me get into that from the ex-user Vigilant Fox. Great X account to follow, by the way.
Yeah.
Follow Vigilant Fox. RFK Jr. just brought the house down at the Kennedy Center. The entire building erupted. Well, let's see what this is about. Hold on. Okay, so we got all right, so we're set up right now. Here we go.
And I had a conversation once with Charlie where we were talking about the danger that we both faced from challenging entrenched interests. And he asked me if I was scared to die. And I said to him, there's a lot worse things than dying. And one of those...
That's a good line right
there. The chief among those is losing our constitutional rights and having our children raised in slavery. And I said to him at that time, I said, sometimes our only consolation is that we can die with our boots on. We can die fighting for these things.
Remember what happened to his father too, his uncle.
His life,
yeah,
so that the rest of us would not have to suffer those fates worse than death. Now it's our job. He's no longer there to lead us. To rush in and fill the breach and win this battle for our country, for God, and for our families. Thank you all.
Here. That's right.
these fucking communists have no idea what they've done.
Yeah.
They
I was
have
just
no
thinking that
idea
when he
what
was talking, I was
they've
like,
done.
they've way overplayed their hand.
They did, and they did with Trump, and they did with and they definitely did with Charlie. And it's they already really hurt themselves with Trump. And if they would have killed Trump, that would have been really bad in a lot of different ways. Like for the nation, it could have led to civil war.
Can I be honest with you?
But now with Charlie, it's like, well, I just want to say real quick, Isaiah, I think like, you know, I forgot who was that said it, but it's like, and maybe one of you guys said it earlier in the podcast, but just a reminder, it's like, I forget exactly what the exact quote was, but it's like we got to replace, you know, we'll fill that void with more and more and more and more voices all speaking, saying the things that he was saying and fighting for the values he was fighting for, to where it's just there's too many of us for people to even, you know, who are they going to target? What are they going to do? You know, it's the truth needs to be spoken, and I hope everybody's inspired and brave enough to do that, and just and call out people who are with coming through with the terrible gender ideology or whatever it is, or lying and calling people fascists and Nazis. Like we're not fascists and Nazis at all, man. Conservatives are not. You know, maybe there's like a small percentage of them that are into that, but
no,
most conservatives, most Republicans, not a vast majority of them. And people who voted for Trump, who a lot of them were just ex-Democrats like us, or like me and Isaiah, I should say. I mean, it's like we are not Nazis and Nazis and fascists. So,
There's more of. I think what this is showing is, especially when you see the numbers of how many, for example, chapters are being added to Turning Point around the country at schools, at high schools, at these universities, at these indoctrination centers, is really where this is happening. This fight against this stuff, you know, on the ground. It's showing that there's more of us than there are of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's way more of us than there are of them, and now
they
more
just
than
grew
ever.
a bunch of them.
And there always have been.
And like you said, the martyrs.
Now they
blood
just
is the seed.
activated us. Yeah.
Martyr's blood is the seed, and there's sprouts growing even in high schools and hopefully middle schools, hopefully elementary schools. Like there's some, like, you know, 7th, 8th graders doing something like that. We need a counter indoctrination, and just go back to how things were, you know, several decades ago, as far as teaching education about patriotism, a patriotic, positive, mostly positive lens of our history. Of course, talk about slavery, talk about things that happened that weren't so great, but for the most part, we're a great nation doing great things that really helped the entire world and continues to. And that should be the focus. That should be the general the thrust. It shouldn't be like, oh my God, we're a colonial, terrible, racist, white supremacist country. It's disgusting. It's not true. Maybe it was partly true 200 years ago or something, but it's not true. It's not true now. And but actually, we're probably the least racist country on earth. At least on the right side.
So.
The left is pretty racist, honestly. The left is pretty racist, by the way. That's if anybody's racist, it's them.
The left. I'm just going to say this. The left have proven to me, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that they are truly the most evil force in this country. I'm not even, I don't apologize for that. I don't apologize for being so dramatic in my words. Okay. Take it from someone who was a liberal at one point. Liberals really are stupid and wicked.
Well, like again, let's be fair. Not everybody, but not everybody. But the freaking DSA, the far left, they tend to be. They're really fitting what you're saying. A lot of
leftists,
them, not most of them,
are stupid.
Yeah,
leftists are evil. We are talking about and you know what? And I have to stop.
And they're also liberal because they're not liberals. Yes,
they're not. Right, they're not. And I keep making them say
you gotta stop calling them liberals.
No,
they're not liberals.
We are more liberal than they are.
The Liberal Party is the conservatives.
The Liberal Party, the true
the Republicans.
Gentlemen, please understand, the more liberal, the more liberty attuned party in this country are right now the Republicans.
Yeah, stop calling them liberals. They're not. They don't deserve that title. They're totalitarian, if anything, most of the time.
Democrats have gone full totalitarian.
Right, authoritarian.
They
Yeah,
have gone full. They are now full leftists. They do not believe in anything except power for its own sake.
Yeah, mainstream.
To the point where they're willing to kill. They are willing. They have created, again, like we said at the beginning of the show, they have created an army with over the span of 10 to 15 years. They have told us all that Trump was a threat to democracy. Trump is a fascist. All of this stuff. As I had arrangement syndrome.
Objection.
Wait.
Yeah.
I had it. Guilty as charged. I had it.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of them people who hated Trump. Didn't even know why I hated the man.
Mm.
You can read through some of my old posts.
That's what we were told.
Facebook things. I hated Trump with every fiber of my being, and I could never explain why.
Because we trusted the media. That's a big part of it.
Last thing I'm gonna
Not
play.
anymore. Not anymore, man.
Not anymore. That's done. As I have said before, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. cured me of my Trump derangement syndrome. Abby Gate cured me of my Trump derangement syndrome.
Hmm.
Anyways, let me share this. Scott
This
Adams.
Charlie Kirk thing is probably curing a lot more people of it, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It has to be.
Oh my God. Like, again, it's one thing. It's not just this, again, like we said earlier, it ain't just watching Charlie die the way that he did. Brutal, horrifying fashion. The only consolation I have about that is I don't think Charlie felt a thing.
Mm.
I pray to God he didn't. I pray to God he did not feel any pain when that hit. But the fact is, for someone, oh God, I lost.
Well, that's what I heard too. I actually heard a surgeon talk about it on social media, who's like does like neck surgeries. He's like a spinal guy, and he says he thinks that he didn't actually feel anything, which is great. I mean, the most important thing, the most people I worry about, I feel bad about the most, obviously, is wife and children,
wife and kids, and we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that before. And I just, yeah.
But Charlie has been immortalized, and he's going to be immortalized for many decades. I mean, they're gonna talk about him as long as America's a thing. Still, God willing, it will be.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna be talking about him for hundreds of years.
This is
hundreds of years, like
this is
MLK.
Adams.
At least
this is Scott Adams talking about, and this had me going like a little crazy.
Scott Adams makes a lot of good points.
Creator of Dilbert.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I'm proud of him for coming out too, like, you know, and risking his legacy, speaking the truth, because, like, you know, he was probably called a fascist and racist and everything a million times, and he's just speaking the truth.
Right. And we need to pray for. We need to say a prayer. If you're praying people, ladies and gentlemen, please say a prayer for Scott Adams. He is dealing with cancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he is. He is sick. So let's
prayers to Scott Adams, man. For Scott Adams.
But I wanted to play this before we spend the last part of our show talking about what's next. Here's Scott Adams.
I believe that there's something coming that's pretty big, which is there's going to be this gigantic Charlie Kirk cognitive dissonance experience for the left, because they don't have a theory to explain what's going on right now.
Yeah, they're totally.
So the only way they can explain it is to assume that half the globe are Hitlers themselves, or they don't know what they know, or so there's going to be a whole bunch of trying to understand the world that they're observing.
Are we the baddies?
Like I have any confusion about the world I'm observing.
No.
But the Democrats are going to have a big problem, because they're going to have to figure out why everybody says this guy is an angel, but they've been acting like he's such a bad person they have to kill him. At some point, this won't apply to everybody, but at some point there will be a healthy number of Democrats who realize that they were on the side of killing an innocent man.
Yeah.
Meaning that they didn't act on it, but they were sort of happy it happened, maybe. And then they're going to find out that he was nothing like they thought. And this will be one of the biggest mistakes of humanity. It's one thing to kill somebody because you're going to get something out of it. This was not that.
Nope.
This is killing somebody and getting the opposite of whatever it was you wanted, because you're going to get a lot of that. You're going to get a lot, and it's going to be the opposite of whatever you thought you wanted.
That's true.
But it's because you killed the wrong guy.
Mm.
I saw somebody say today, was it King John? They killed our son. Boy, do I feel that. You know what I mean? Those of you who know my story know that hits me hard. Anyway, that's what they got wrong. If you kill our stranger, we might be mad, but we'll probably not change our schedule over it. If you kill our son, all of our son, we're going to change our schedule. All right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow won't be
That's
the
a good
same
point.
as today because
Yeah.
you killed our son. And that has more. I think that has more meaning in more than one way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
he's
he's
absolutely right.
He's
And
a
I
very
think-
wise guy, man.
I think it goes without goes without saying, but it's not only that Charlie Kirk was innocent, like he didn't commit any crimes. He was like an outstanding citizen in
He
every
absolutely
way.
was. Yeah.
It goes far beyond that. He was just innocent. He was like the best of the conservative movement. He was the embodiment of what it means to be, a Christian engaging in the public square peaceably and, not wishing harm on anyone. He's bringing people together. I saw videos of people coming, to his live talks. I saw this one video, which, what, let me find this. This might be worth playing.
Yeah, he was a model citizen and
I think it was on
massive
Instagram.
talent, spiritual leader, political leader in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and like bringing people together is what he was doing. I mean, family members who were, one is a liberal, one's a conservative, and having him talk it out on, with him publicly on his, live shows that he was doing. Here, here's the video. Let me send you the link. This is wild. This just, I think, is the perfect embodiment of what he was doing and what he was about. And again, this goes far beyond just he's an innocent man who didn't commit any crimes and didn't have a criminal record and this and that. This is like
He was a great man and a great spirit.
I mean, he's a saint, to use that word.
A civil rights leader,
all right,
a real true one, not like Al Sharpton is now or whatever.
Yeah.
So before I play that, matter of fact, I'm gonna save that for last.
Yeah, sounds good.
I want to talk about what's next. Okay, your video is a little delayed, I think.
Is mine?
Nick, I think so. Your video, like your it's like your audio comes in before your lips move on the video. I think that's
maybe it's my Wi-Fi connection's not the best. I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, either way, like your audio is coming through fine, and that's the most important part.
So I just want to add real quick, just to what Scott Adams said though. It's like not only did he kill our son, but he killed, they tried to kill the First Amendment. They tried to kill dialogue. They tried to kill one of the most important American values of freedom of speech and having people talk across the aisle, because we have to. We're part of the same country. We have to govern together. We have to live together. And they tried to kill all of that. They tried to kill one of the greatest voices of probably the majority of the country, because I think the majority of the country now is leaning conservative. Obviously, Trump just won, and I think, definitely after killing Charlie Kirk the way that he did, that the sniper did, and seeing the left celebrate, which a lot of people have seen, I think, just like Scott Adams said, like it's going to cost them quite a bit. And I was just thinking, we were talking about like all the people who moved to the right. Like, how many people do you think moved to the left after this? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're just rotting in your little demonic state. Like, that's about as like you're probably even people on the left who don't know it yet probably moved a little bit to the right. They don't even realize it yet.
Serious question though.
Like more moderate Democrats or something like that, who are like, well, he kind of did this and that. They're slowly, they might be moving to the right without even realizing it. It's going to take a little while.
Serious question. Who wants to be a leftist after this? Who wants to be a leftist after this? Who the fuck wants to be a leftist after this? I mean that seriously.
Gruesome.
Who is going, unless you were already
Go to a DSA meeting or something?
right?
Ugh.
You like, why would you, like, honestly, you really want to be with them people?
These fucking ghouls and demons.
You really want to be with them people?
Morons.
I want to show y'all Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow. I want to show you this because, again, I want to talk about where do we go from here, and I think that's part that's going to segue into what we're talking about. So, yeah, y'all done pissed off the wrong woman.
Evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment. And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability, this phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him.
That's hard to watch.
Yeah. But she's right. She's right about that, man. Erica's right about that. It's it's the thing about how the emotions she must have been going through this week. But yeah, I think she's absolutely right. They did make the movement stronger, and I feel a personal responsibility to help, promote it as much as possible. If I see events, I'm going to promote it. I'm going to tell people to go. If I can go, I can go.
I thought about going there. There's a Turning Point office right down the road from my house. I thought about even just going there and be like, "What do you guys need?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we're not the only ones, man.
And this is what I was thinking too. I've seen a lot of videos, even of people I know, like, they've seen a lot of negative, but speaking of more of the positive, I've seen a lot of videos of people even I know. I just, of people posting stuff like, I used to be scared to say what I believe because I felt like, I would lose friends over it, or I felt like I would get in trouble at work, or I felt like, I'd be ostracized in some way, shape, or form. But those days are over. And I think that's the exact spirit that's just been unleashed across the country, because here's why. I think a lot of people have been scared to, let's say, the closet conservative types, or the people that have been skeptical about the left. They've been keeping their mouths shut for a long time because they felt like they're alone. And now it's just been proven that you're not alone. Like, there's millions of us that have just spoken out, that have already spoken out publicly, that are meeting in even small towns, having vigils, like even in the small town, right next door to mine, small town of, a few thousand people. And there's hundreds of people out in the park last night at a vigil for this. So it's like that, like that just proves that there's more. It's just this constant theme of there is more of us than there are of them. And you're not alone for speaking up about this stuff and for taking a stand.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right, man. And it's gonna. They're losing their power of fear. With as we've all experienced, I think. Like, I know a lot of people who can't talk about their views at all at work and stuff like that, right? But everybody else can, have an Obama or Biden shirt.
Friends, but there's millions of us that are going to be
But
right
you
behind.
were worried about losing your job and stuff, and like some of these situations. And now, and you know, you have like girls like on dating apps who would say like, yeah, if you're a Trump supporter, swipe left, or if you're a conservative, like, you know, I used to see that back when I used to be on a dating app, or I see people all the time talking like, you know, complaining about that, and it's like, but we're now getting to the point where it's like, you know, now once you have conservatives not have to worry about getting fired, not have to worry about any of this kind of like backlash really anymore, and like the fascism Nazi shit doesn't work anymore on them, it's like then the left is really gonna have to go into the shadows themselves, like in shame, as they should, as long as they remain like this. If they were normal and reasonable and not trying to like castrate and mutilate kids, and not try to have a complete open borders and not killing people for disagreeing with them like fucking Nazis and communists. You know, I mean, like that's they're projecting their crazy, violent behavior, totalitarian behavior on anybody who disagrees with them, including moderates, libertarians, disaffected liberals, disaffected Democrats. What the fuck is wrong with you people? How dare you people? How'd you get so misled and misguided and warped and perverted by demonic forces and lies?
There are people. See, the biggest difference, gentlemen, is that the left used to be able to get away with their foolishness because they, one, were louder than everyone else, and two, they were able to take power from the top down, which is how they ended up with all of the power that they have these days. Okay. The C-suite, the legislative branches, the executive branches. And I'm not talking about just on the federal level. The federal's one thing. I'm talking about on the state level. In your blue states like New York, California, where if a mother wanted to transition her child, could steal her child away from the father. If the father wants no part of the transition, if the father does not want to troon the kid out, the state of California, state of New York, will take the kid in, and the mother in, and will shield both mother and child from any legal penalties that might ensue. Kidnapping charge, fuck you. You're not going to get the kid back. We're going to protect the kid. That's how inverted these people are.
When the opposite is child abuse.
The opposite. Like to think of this. Think of how inverted. Abigail Schreier, shout to her. I would love to have her on the show one day.
Yeah, Abigail, you got to jump on Apostate Radio with us.
I would love to have her. She wrote a piece about California State Senator Scott Wiener, who's literally one of the most evil motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life.
With that last name, you have to be.
Yeah. This guy was at the forefront of that bill that I'm talking about, that essentially turned the state of California into one of the largest human trafficking centers in the country. So we're talking about evil people. What is next? Because I want to get to that. What is next?
I think it's kind of,
if there is go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think it's kind of what I said. People need to just, grow a pair and start speaking out against this stuff.
You have
And
to.
it's like, it's a silly example, but even what you said before about dating apps, that's a huge thing that men experience, where there's a predominance of women being liberal. And so they won't say what's true. They'll go along with evil leftist. They'll go along with it. I got to fix that too. I always say liberal on accident. I think
we gotta stop doing that. I can't say, I hear that so much from like other commentators. I'm like, these aren't liberals anymore.
Yeah,
they're gone.
They're just not.
Liberals, no, we're the liberals now.
Yeah, they're
Those
Democrats,
people-
leftists, whatever you want to call them, but they're not liberals.
And so even like that, like guys will, because they want to get laid, or they want to get a girlfriend, or they want to marry
don't have a
somebody.
choice. So many
and
women
then
are
they'll
on
go
the left.
along to get along.
And women are
in order to
intolerant.
get that.
Like, leftist
That's
women.
got to stop. Like, again, it comes from this feeling of you have to compromise on your values in order to get what you want. And I think Charlie Kirk is a perfect example of someone that showed us you don't have to do that anymore. Like, that's not what you want. And what you want is virtue, and what you want is good, and what you should want are these things. I think there's millions of people that do want that. And we just have to be bold enough to take a stand and actually go for it, and stop making excuses, stop being scared of being alone. Those days are over. There's more of us than there are of them. That's been proven over and over again. And, go to church, to get involved in your community, do something, do something productive.
Yeah, and I think one thing people can do just to change, as Jonathan Haidt puts it, move the elephant in people, move their intuitions, move their feelings about things. Like, so many people on Democrats, first of all, a lot of people are normies. They're not nearly as plugged in as we are with news, right, and everything. So people have no idea. All they're catching is like news from MSNBC, CNN, and like if that's all they're seeing, then of course they're going to believe that Trump is a fascist and a Nazi, and everybody who's on the right just like wants to I don't know, kill immigrants and make sure women have no abortion, whatever it is, like it's just ridiculous shit. So I think one thing that's good for everybody to do is just like to share good stuff about Charlie and conservatives, like positive things, that like videos they have, because there's so many of them that are going around, just so people are like, oh, you know what, man, we were lied about this. And then show videos of those people celebrating, show those videos of those people laughing like demonically, like we shared today, or like and like there's so many people in the middle, like, which is probably 80% of the country, if not more, who are going to have no idea this is going on. They see it, and then they're gonna be like, oh, Jesus, like this looks like somebody just fucking put a camera in hell. What was that? And then and I think that's the way to get more and more people to be like, I don't know what's going on the left. I'm gonna go start hanging out with some conservatives. I'm gonna start watching Fox News or something. I'm gonna start listening to more conservative podcasts and just see what the hell's going on. And then, that's going to open up a lot of people's eyes. And I've seen it myself. I've seen it happen in the past couple of years. Like I had friends who didn't really care about politics at all, to becoming very obsessed with politics, because they're like, holy shit, how they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this. And they'll share stuff with me. Like I'm like, Jesus, but I'm glad that he's finally understands.
I remember I've been a conservative for a while, and I remember speaking up against the BLM stuff back in the day. That's back when I was, just getting out of college, but I was still living in the town I was taking classes in and all that. And a lot of my friends were, more, I had a lot of conservative friends, but I also had a lot of friends that were either not political at all and got swept into the BLM stuff because they out of ignorance, or people that were like on the left, but didn't really, that wasn't part of our discourse at that time, really. And then I remember as soon as I started to speak up about, BLM specifically, or some of this stuff going on, and then COVID really ramped that up as well, I immediately got ostracized. And I remember a lot of people, stop getting invited to parties, stop getting invites to hang out with certain people, just like socially cut off, get people blocking me, people spreading rumors that I'm a racist or this or that. And I'm sure a lot of people at that point in time saw that happen to me and were like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be a conservative if this is what happens to you, if you're a conservative, especially not one that speaks up about it. And but now I think that's changing, where you can speak up. And I think Charlie Kirk, this whole situation, as tragic as it is, it's created this new era, this, like, to use a phrase, turning point, where that's no longer the case anymore. Like, you can speak up, and you're going to have people behind you, and you're going to have people, you're not going to be ostracized like you once were. Like, we're taking back the public square in a real tangible way.
And thank God for, like, and this happened, some of this happened before this, like before, like, whether it was a Trump assassination attempt, and like just Joe Rogan, for example, like such a huge platform, just pointing stuff out and be like, hey man, the media is lying about this, and like, look what they're doing with this transgender stuff and women's spaces and all this stuff, and having people like Jordan Peterson on, and Ben Shapiro, and all these people.
Yeah.
Like, I think that really got people to realize, especially in the last after COVID was really, COVID sabotaged Trump, because Trump would have had a second term, I think, it wasn't for COVID. And it makes you
But
wonder
you
if they
know
did it
what?
on purpose, like they let
But
that happen on purpose. But people back then used to still believe the media more or less. A lot of people. I think we're past that now. The legacy media, I should say.
Oh yeah, we done.
And
We're
now
off
with
that.
after Charlie Kirk, like it's just a continue, like it's just like multiple stab wounds into the legacy media. Whether it was all of last year with the Trump stuff, Trump lies and everything, then Charlie Kirk getting murdered, and the media still, some of the media is still trying to push certain. I mean, MSNBC must be like just losing viewers at a clip,
yeah.
man. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean, like it's like I think they just lost 50,000. I think Jen Psaki just like is like down 40% already, and then she's terrible, man. By the way,
forget every single lie that the mainstream media has told up until this point. Forget every single lie. Just watching how they responded to this Charlie Kirk situation, that should be enough for people to completely tune these people out. That should be enough. Forget everything.
And we got to spread awareness to
alone.
that. Like the New York Times news stories trying to make it
here's
sound
what
like a
these
certain
people
way.
think about you if you're not a psycho leftist who wants to mutilate kids and who wants to do all this crazy stuff, who wants to destroy the Constitution,
abolish prisons.
This is what they think about you. They think you deserve to get shot in the neck.
Yeah,
that should be enough for people.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, I'm over it now. I'm over it now with that. I want to personally thank you, Mick, for coming on to the show tonight. This has been
it's been great.
Been
It was a great conversation.
This has been quite a show. I really appreciate I really appreciate both of you gentlemen for being here. I'm like I said at the beginning of the show, I did not want to do the show tonight.
I feel better now.
I feel better too.
It's been a rough week for me, man, and for you, and I'm sure for Mikale as well.
Definitely,
it's been a rough week.
Just again, to know that there are people I am close to.
Yep.
Who genuinely hate, as it's honestly hurt my heart. It has. It's hurt my heart because it's one thing. Like I am truly disappointed, and you can say whatever you want. Like we talked earlier, they can't shame me. You guys celebrate death. Y'all celebrate death. Y'all saw his blood on the ground and just danced in the streets. Y'all did a praise dance. Like you was in a Baptist church somewhere. Some of y'all are rational. You know who you are.
Fucking cannibals.
Y'all are out here rationalizing death. Rationalizing the violent nature. You sitting there going, well, I don't agree that, I don't like how he was killed, but he was pretty hateful. He was pretty. You've never watched a thing that man said. You never, y'all, if I ask some of you right now, again, you know who you are. If some of y'all asked, if I came up to you and asked you, what exactly did Charlie Kirk say that was racist? What exactly did he say that war? I don't give a damn what he said, honestly.
Right.
Because seriously, that's playing your game.
Right.
That's playing your game on it. I see that now. I see that. Because you want to get into an argument about racism, sexism, bigotry, or homophobe, whatever because that's all you know how to argue. That's all y'all know how to argue. Mick, thank you so much.
We're not the same. One thing I want to say, Isaiah, we're not the same, bro. Just real quick. I mean, like you said, I don't care what he said. Even if it was like a guy who was a freaking Nazi, I don't know if he needs to get his brain taken off, or his neck or emptied out or something like that in front of everybody. Just like I don't think communists are worse than communists killed way more people than Nazis did. And Zohar Mamdani is a communist. I don't want to see Zohar Mamdani get killed. I don't want to see him. I want him to lose democratically. And if he does become the mayor of New York City, then I want people to see what happens when that happens. Like people are going to learn. They're going to learn what happens when you elect a socialist. But I don't want him killed.
I want those people to be dealt with in a just way, not in a.
We're not the same people, man. We're not the same group. Yeah, right. We're not the same. We're not the same as these leftists. These leftists have been seduced by the dark side, man.
That's the thing. people like us see evil and we're appalled by it and we want to see it ended and we want to see people pushing evil and promoting it and doing evil stopped, but we understand that the rule of law still matters and that justice still matters, and there's a way to do it that's right and there's a way to do it that's wrong, and we're not going to compromise on some short-term quote unquote political victory, which the irony of this situation with Charlie Kirk, they're not getting a political victory out of this. Let me tell you that.
Huge L. It's a
And
huge
you are
political L.
Not at all.
That's one of the biggest political L's, self-inflicted political L's, maybe in freaking American history.
Oh yeah, and we're not willing to compromise our values and our principles just to get some political victory. Like the political victory is sticking to your principles. That's the victory.
Huge political L.
Yeah. I'm not compromising my values for anything anymore. Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore, and I think that's really the lesson. In my opinion, that's one of the lessons that Charlie's death taught us. Mick, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate this.
Where can everybody follow you if do you have anything going on right now that you want to promote?
Not really. Well, I got this podcast coming up soon that'll be coming out hopefully
What's it
in
gonna
the
be
next
called?
couple weeks.
You guys know?
Me and my brother we're still trying to come up with a name.
The name takes a while. It took us a little while to come up with one.
Yeah, I think right now it'll at least be just on my current YouTube channel. And I think we're going to create another playlist specifically for it. So we'll be doing live streams like this, which you guys should come on. We want to start having guests.
Let us know. We'd love to come on.
We would be honored. We would be delighted, bro. We really would.
That'll be coming up. Obviously I'm most active on Twitter at Real Mick Olson, right there in the handle on the screen there. Go follow me there and check out what I'm doing. And I have a bunch of articles written. The topic we were going to talk about, the woke rights stuff, I've got a bunch of different articles about that for Christian Post that I've written. It's all in my bio and all that. So
maybe we could talk about that when we jump on too.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully there's not some crazy bad news again. But,
yes, and listen, I apologize. I'm not the best. The Lord is still working on me, but so I do apologize for all the cursing that I did.
Oh, you're.
I know. Yeah, sorry. I didn't even know. I swear so much today, but I've just been pissed.
The Lord, oh my God, I've been cursing. Like you can ask my wife. Man, shout to Kareen, my darling wife. I love you, baby. Like I found myself like seriously pacing before I came up until doing the show, and there's just like between this and some other stuff that's going on, if there is any, and I'm like, if there's any Turning Point USA branches in New York City or in the surrounding areas, please let me know. We would like. I think I can speak for my brother here.
Yeah,
with your permission, of course.
Yeah, I definitely try to make that. Yeah,
Apostate Radio would like to help Turning Point USA however we can, and I do
let us know
that from the bottom of my heart.
Let us know. We'll promote that.
Please let us know if anybody's watching the show.
Maybe wants to come on the show and talk about what you're going to do ahead of time.
Exactly. Our platform
to look forward to
is
Erica. Anybody? Mrs. Kirk.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was talking to my brother a little bit about that. I was like, I might just go to that office right by my house and just knock on their door and see if they need anything, or if when we start this show, me and my brother see if there's any way we can help.
Yeah.
Even like local schools, like local public schools in the area, high schools, seeing if there's anything going on there that we could help them out with, like anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, Mick, thanks again. I'm also you've inspired me to actually start a new GoFundMe as well. Just one thing that I was thinking about. I think you need private security. You might actually need private security. I think you're in a very serious position. Being a Bears fan in enemy territory.
I knew that was coming. I might. If I show up at that Turning Point office here in Wisconsin with a Bears jersey,
I know.
Oh my God, you're done for.
I'm done. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It does feel that way around here.
How do you like? Oh my God! Like when Aaron Rodgers was your daddy, like what was that like?
Here's the thing: is like I hated it. I hated it, but also like I like Aaron Rodgers. I like.
Yeah,
the
he's
guy.
the man. Okay.
And so like
It had to be anybody.
This is my beef with the Packers: is I don't like the team. I always want them to lose, but I like a lot of players that they draft. I like a lot of I like their coach. They've had so many good players on their team, but it's tough. It's.
I mean,
maybe we need to start that GoFundMe and get some security over here. But
Mick, thank you again.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, man.
No,
Thanks
been
for coming
great.
by.
If you guys ever, I'd love to be back on and talk again. And this is awesome. This has been a good.
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Come on by, man. We really.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put you in we'll put you in the bullpen. Put you in the bullpen if we need somebody. So
There you
somebody-
go.
That would be fun. That would be a lot
all
of
right.
fun.
Yeah, we'll keep Sunday nights. Keep them open if you can.
Yeah, we'll do.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
We'll do.
Thanks, man.
All
Thanks.
right.
Thanks
All
for
right,
coming
Mikale.
on.
Appreciate
Have
you,
a great
brother.
night.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Keep up
everybody.
the good
Thanks
work.
everybody for watching. Yeah.
Thank
Yep.
you.
See you
Thank
soon,
you,
man.
What a
Great.
night, man. And Mick, we'll also Mick. I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. This has not been easy to discuss. This has been very, very tough to talk about. We want to say, may God bless the family. Oh, he's back. Did you forget something?
I didn't know if you guys were hanging.
No, we're still
hit end. I didn't know. I didn't realize you were hitting end.
It's all right.
We'll do our last remarks here. You can stick around if you want.
Otherwise, yeah. No, this was great though. This was awesome. I think hopefully the conversation was beneficial to some people.
Well,
I think so. I think it was.
I think it was. I think it was.
I think we had some unique perspectives too.
But since you're here, we're gonna go. I'm just gonna go ahead and end it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thanks again to Mick Olson for joining us tonight. This has been Apostate Radio episode 28. Next week, we got a big one. We got a real big guest lined up for next weekend. Please join us on next Sunday, the 21st, 8 p.m. Joel Berry of the Babylon Bee.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm tuning in for that. Yeah. He's great.
Joel Berry of the Babylon Bee will be joining us tomorrow, next week, next Sunday, 8 p.m. We truly, truly hope that you will join us. Gonna be a great show. We thank you again. May God bless Erica Kirk.
Yes.
Charlie's children. Okay.
Yeah.
May God bless Turning Point USA. We want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Thank y'all and have a great week.
Thank you.